Chapter 1. Before the eye patch, the man who walked through shadows. Before the world knew him as the man who stood at the center of impossible wars. Before the black leather coat became silhouette of authority and warnings unspoken. Before the eye patch turned into a symbol of secrets too heavy for ordinary men. Nicholas Joseph Fury was simply a soldier, one among many, shaped not by destiny or prophecy, but by the long grinding weight of service, conflict, loyalty, and the ghosts that follow men who have seen too much and survived anyway. His story, before the Avengers, before S.H.I.E.L.D, before aliens and gods and artificial intelligences gone rogue, began in streets far removed from cosmic invasions and intergalactic wars, in a world still tethered to the slow tragedies of human history, where conflict meant politics and borders instead of universes colliding. Fury grew in an America already carrying scars of wars it did not fully understand, where young men looked outward at world expanding in turmoil and saw service as both escape and burden. He enlisted not because someone asked him to, but because he felt world demand something of him, something urgent, something heavy, something inevitable. Soldiers are not born. They are shaped by stories they do not yet know they are part of. And Fury entered military life with raw determination rather than clarity, marching into a future that would test every part of him. His loyalty, his morality, his patience, his ability to make decisions that would break lesser men. Throughout his early military years, Fury served in environments where complexity outweighed glory, where diplomacy and violence lived side by side in uncomfortable alliance. His assignments were not glamorous nor heroic. They were practical, tactical, and often deeply covert in ways that never made headlines. He was placed in operations requiring calm under pressure, situations where one wrong movement meant casualties that would stain conscience for life, missions where chain of command blurred and truth became fluid, shaped by whoever held highest clearance. Fury learned early that loyalty in military life was a double-edged sword, crucial for survival, but dangerous when given blindly. He understood, long before he would admit it, that institutions, no matter how noble, could hide rot beneath polished insignias. But at this stage of his life, he did not challenge these institutions. He served them, absorbing lessons like sponge dropped into ocean of secrets. He witnessed operations that required silence and restraint, saw political interests override human ones, watched men die for missions they did not understand, and stored every detail within something deep and stern inside his mind. These memories formed a mosaic of distrust that would one day define his future leadership. Fury did not oppose authority, but he learned to see through it. His combat experience grew thick as scars he carried not on skin but behind eyes. Each mission is new chapter in education world would later call espionage, but he simply called necessity. He excelled not by brute strength nor marksmanship alone, but through awareness, reading terrain, reading people, reading intentions long before words revealed them. He was man who understood quiet before storm and could detect lies hidden between breaths. His officers noticed, invisible hands in government noticed. Patterns of surveillance and assessment formed around him long before he realized he was being observed, not for what he had done, but for what he could become. In these years, quiet ones, years the public will never know, Nick Fury learned that wars fought in shadow shape future more profoundly than battles fought in daylight. He saw operations where diplomatic crises were prevented not by speeches, but by small teams of unknown soldiers executing delicate missions with precision. He learned meaning of sacrifice long before the Avengers would teach world that word again. One such mission, lost in archives until long after Fury's rise, involved retrieval of sensitive intel in region where conventional military presence would spark international incident. Fury was inserted with small unit under veil of plausible deniability. He learned firsthand that sometimes best victory was extraction without engagement, that silence was deadlier than gunfire, that message delivered unseen shaped future more safely than show of power. It was during this mission, according to Fury's own later reflections, that he began to understand difference between soldier and operative. Both serve, both sacrifice, but operatives fight wars. World must never know. Fury discovered he belonged among them, not for thrill, not for pride, but for clarity. He did not fear shadow, he understood it, he adapted to it, and shadow in turn welcomed him, but confidence came with price. In early years, Fury nearly lost his life during Operation Gone Wrong, one where chain of command failed him, and political interests overshadowed tactical logic. A decision from above, made by someone who would never step foot on battlefield, forced Fury's team into compromised position. Fury led extraction, disobeying direct order, saving men the system had already written off. That act, defiant yet moral, put him on radar of those looking for leaders who followed mission rather than bureaucracy. It also taught him bitter truth. Sometimes survival means breaking rules written for people who never risk anything. Fury learned not to trust blindly. That lesson would one day become philosophy shaping entire organization. As years turned, Fury's work expanded beyond standard military operations into intelligence corridors, interwoven with political shadows. Whether he actively chose this path or was drawn into it by those who recognized potential in him, no one truly knows. But he stepped into a world where information was currency more dangerous than weapons. He began to see shape of global threats long before they surfaced, groups experimenting with advanced weaponry, rogue cells stealing classified tech, governments lying to their own operatives. Fury saw a tapestry of deception stretching across continents and understood that traditional command structures could not address threats evolving faster than diplomacy. He did not become cynical, he became pragmatic. He learned value of classified intel, necessity of compartmentalization, importance of contingency plans coded 5 layers deep, tools that would one day help him face threats like Hydra, Loki, Ultron, Thanos. It was also during these years that Fury faced trauma, often overshadowed by later events, loss of friends, allies, soldiers who trusted him. Loss shapes man faster than victory. Fury carried each one like quiet weight, not as guilt but responsibility. He learned to lead with blend of empathy and steel, knowing every order held life in balance. That understanding forged a leader who would later guide heroes far stranger than any soldier, gods, monsters, legends, yet treat each as human with fears and flaws. Fury's humanity, often obscured behind hardness formed in trenches of early service. By time his military career matured, Fury held reputation of man who never backed down, never betrayed mission, and never left teammate behind. His superiors recognized the asset too valuable to remain within ordinary chain of command. And so, without fanfare or ceremony, Fury found himself facing decision that would redirect trajectory of MCU itself. An offer to work with organization whose name would one day echo through halls of power. The Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement and Logistics Division. S.H.I.E.L.D. agency built to manage threats too unusual for traditional institutions. Fury, already acquainted with complexity of hidden wars, accepted not out of ambition but duty. He did not yet know how deep its roots ran. He did not know Hydra slept beneath its floors. He did not know cosmic storms were approaching, but he knew world was changing. He felt it. Before eye patch, Fury's left eye remained unscarred, gaze sharp and wary. He did not yet carry symbol of deceit or betrayal. That wound, story of which MCU lightly reshapes in Captain Marvel, would come later, sealing trust issues into physical reminder. But even without scar, Fury's sight saw farther than most men with two eyes open. And as he stepped into S.H.I.E.L.D headquarters for first time, surrounded by unfamiliar machinery and whispers of secrets older than Cold War, he felt presence of invisible future drawing near, a future where wars would not be fought between armies but between worlds, a future where heroes needed leadership grounded not in heroism but realism, a future where impossible beings, a god from Asgard, a super soldier reborn from ice, a billionaire with arc reactor heart would need someone who understood shadows better than they understood themselves. But at this stage, Fury wasn't ready for that. He was man, stepping into labyrinth without map, carrying only instincts shaped by loss and duty. He met faces he would one day trust, others he would one day expose, and many who hid secrets behind friendly smiles. His early days at S.H.I.E.L.D were tests of patience, awareness, adaptation. He learned that organization didn't merely watch threats, it cultivated alliances, shaped events, nudged history silently. Fury saw potential in its infrastructure, its reach, its technology, but also seed of danger in secrecy that could easily become corruption. He recognized that to serve world, S.H.I.E.L.D needed leader with backbone strong enough to resist temptation of power. He did not yet know that leader would be him, years before he ever uttered words, Avengers Initiative, years before he watched Portal open over New York, years before he faced gods and aliens and titans. Fury walked halls of ordinary humanity, military bases, conflict zones, intelligence rooms, and those experiences hardened resolve more than any cosmic threat could. He learned to trust instinct above protocol, people above politics, truth above comfort, and while he did not know it yet, every instinct formed in those years would one day save the universe, not through glory, but through preparation. He was man-shaped not by destiny, but by endurance. A soldier forged in shadows preparing unknowingly for war among stars. Before the eye patch, before the Avengers, before Earth stood on brink of extinction more than once, Fury was man who simply refused to break. And sometimes, universe does not choose heroes. It chooses survivors with courage to look into darkness and not look away. Fury was one of them, and soon, fate would ask more of him than any soldier had ever been asked. Chapter 2: The Origin of an Agent. Fury's Recruitment into S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick. Fury did not enter S.H.I.E.L.D with ceremony or celebration, nor with awareness that he was stepping into an institution whose failures, secrets, and shadows would one day define the next 3 decades of his life. Instead, his recruitment happened quietly, without speeches or medals, a transition almost unnoticeable from one world of silent wars into another, deeper and older, where threats were not measured in enemy numbers, but in anomalies, artifacts, and operations buried so far beneath the surface of public knowledge that even governments pretended not to see them. In the years following his early military career, Fury found himself handling assignments that felt increasingly distant from conventional warfare. Each mission seemed tailored not for soldier, but for observer, strategist, someone who could move through chaos like ghost while piecing together patterns invisible to most. He reported to superiors who rarely explained motives, collected intelligence that disappeared into hands above clearance, and made decisions whose consequences echoed far beyond battlefield. One evening, after completing extraction in region, where lines between ally and enemy blurred into a haze of politics and propaganda, Fury returned to base expecting standard debriefing. Instead, he found single man waiting in dimly lit room, calm, polite, impeccably dressed, with face that held years of experience behind neutrality. Philip J. Coulson was not yet the agent Fury would one day command, but a younger S.H.I.E.L.D. operative sent to observe, evaluate, and eventually escort him into war he did not yet understand. Coulson handed Fury a file, slim and nondescript, containing only 2 words, typed in stark black. "You see more." That was first compliment S.H.I.E.L.D. ever gave him. They did not ask Fury to join. S.H.I.E.L.D. never asks. They present opportunity, implication, and expectation. Coulson explained the organization only in broadest strokes: international peacekeeping, intelligence gathering, threat prevention, language vague enough to conceal reality but precise enough to pique Fury's suspicion. He was skeptical. He had seen enough secret structures to know that global peacekeeping often meant operations ordinary governments refused to acknowledge. But he also recognized something familiar in Coulson's eyes: calm competence, loyalty without naivety, an instinct that understood the world was teetering toward something larger. Fury accepted meeting with upper command. S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters at that time was not the sleek technological marvel it would become under Fury's leadership. It was a blend of post-war architecture, Cold War surveillance corridors, and hidden rooms where classified documents were digitized onto databases that would one day fuel projects too dangerous to speak aloud. When Fury arrived, he was escorted through layers of security thicker than anything he had experienced. Agents typed silently behind reinforced glass. Maps covered entire walls, displaying movements of nations, groups, and individuals too dangerous or too extraordinary to be left unmonitored. Fury noticed symbols he didn't recognize, program codenames, artifact classifications, redacted icons flashing with alerts he wasn't permitted to see. He felt something shift inside him. Curiosity mingled with caution. This was not simply intelligence agency. This was the nerve center of hidden world, one that operated long before Fury ever held weapon. Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at that time was not yet Alexander Pierce nor Fury himself. It was a predecessor whose identity MCU keeps deliberately vague. What matters is conversation. Fury sat across from man who spoke not like commander, but like historian. A man aware he was handing torch of vigilance to someone capable of carrying it further. He explained threats humanity had faced in past century. Not global wars, but secret confrontations with entities and technologies locked away from public eye. He spoke of dangerous experiments, superhuman anomalies, classified recoveries from World War II, Hydra remnants believed neutralized but never fully erased. Fury learned that world held dangers far stranger than battlefield politics, and S.H.I.E.L.D. existed to manage them quietly. "We prevent the wars before they begin," Director said, "but we also prepare for ones we can't avoid." Fury listened, eyes narrowing as puzzle pieces of past experiences, strange orders, unexplained losses, missions that made no sense, aligned into new understanding. He realized he had been living in shadows of global intelligence structure, whose roots extended into past deeper than his service ever reached. Director slid a small black badge across the desk. "We are offering you lens through which to finally see full picture," he said. "But once you see it, you can never unsee it." Fury accepted badge, not out of ambition, but conviction. He had already lived inside wars driven by lies. He preferred to stand closer to source of truth, even if truth itself was weapon. days following induction, Fury underwent training unlike anything military had offered. He learned to break encryption systems, to navigate classified networks so layered they felt like labyrinth made of ghosts. He learned concealment, misdirection, interrogation techniques that relied more on psychology than pressure. He learned how to detect surveillance, how to mask his own presence, how to operate without leaving trace. He studied artifacts S.H.I.E.L.D, had collected relics from fallen Hydra bases, shards of technology predating human innovation, data from events world would never know. Fury realized quickly that S.H.I.E.L.D saw world not as map of nations, but as web of unknowns. To serve them meant accepting perpetual uncertainty. One of earliest cases he encountered involved recovery of dangerous material smuggled out of post-war. Bunker used by Hydra scientists during final days of conflict. Fury led team into covert operation across borders government pretended did not exist, retrieving device engraved with Hydra insignia, a clue that enemy thought defeated still moved beneath surface. This mission became first time Fury saw symbol that would haunt him for decades. Red skull with tentacles, emblem of Hydra ideology. S.H.I.E.L.D destroyed device, archived intel and wrote operation off as routine. But Fury saw more. He saw pattern. Hydra was not dead. It had simply learned to hide. Fury's integration into S.H.I.E.L.D accelerated after series of operations he executed with precision unmatched by peers. He adapted quickly to world of layered truths, undertaking assignments in climate zones and political environments that demanded flexibility military discipline never trained him for. But he also clashed with S.H.I.E.L.D's older generation. They were organizations shaped by post-war paranoia, one that often relied on secrets stacked like explosives ready to detonate. Fury questioned choices others accepted. He challenged reliance on compartmentalization that prevented operatives from seeing dangers fully. He argued for transparency within organization, not public exposure but internal honesty. This friction caught attention of those above him, not as liability, but as leadership potential. During his early years in S.H.I.E.L.D, Fury worked under senior agent whose presence MCU shows only in fragments. A woman known for her steel, precision, and reputation as one of S.H.I.E.L.D's most capable intelligence officers, Maria Rambo's colleague, part of covert network of agents ready to operate outside national boundaries. Through her, Fury learned value of empathy in espionage, understanding that most missions succeeded not through coercion, but through connection. This would become core of Fury's future leadership, knowing when to trust, when to recruit, and when to bend rules to protect those fighting beside him. Then came assignment that changed everything, one that intersected science, history, and cosmic threat. S.H.I.E.L.D intercepted encrypted transmission, hinting at unusual aircraft crash in remote region. Fury was among agents dispatched to investigate. What they found was not conventional debris. It was Kree spacecraft, information later classified and buried deep within S.H.I.E.L.D archives. At that time, organization did not fully understand what they were dealing with, but Fury did take note of energy readings, material properties, and encrypted symbols clearly not of Earth. That file would gather dust for years, until 1995, when Carol Danvers crashed into Fury's life and opened door to a universe larger than he ever imagined. But this early encounter planted seed. Earth was not alone. Threats beyond comprehension existed, and S.H.I.E.L.D was wholly unprepared. In following years, Fury rose rapidly through ranks, not because he followed orders blindly, but because he challenged wrong ones. He learned how to manage internal conflicts, track dissident cells, negotiate with international allies, and coordinate multi-level operations requiring balance of secrecy and diplomatic subtlety. He was present in meetings discussing early surveillance programs, analyzing technological anomalies linked to global black markets. He learned how to read falsified reports and decode language of bureaucratic misdirection. Fury developed reputation as agent who saw danger before it manifested, someone who could interpret tension like storm forecaster. And then came moment that sealed his future. S.H.I.E.L.D. director confronted him with classified threat projection, a report predicting that Earth would face extraordinary threats within next century, threats not of human origin. Fury read scenario simulations, casualty forecasts, strategic gaps. He flipped through pages showing Earth's defenses exposed like open wounds. The final page carried chilling statement: Earth is vulnerable to forces beyond comprehension. Director studied Fury quietly. "We need people who can see what others ignore," he said. "Someone ready to prepare world for dangers humanity refuses to imagine." Fury's response was simple: "Then we better start preparing." That was moment Nicholas Fury ceased being merely agent and began path toward becoming architect of Earth's future defenses. He learned that service did not end with battlefield. Service extended to invisible lines that divided survival and extinction. He embraced mantle without theatrics. He dedicated his life not to country, but planet, knowing one day danger would come not from ideology or borders, but from sky. Before he lost his eye, before he held rank of director, before he whispered words, "I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative." Fury was simply man who refused complacency. He saw fragility hidden beneath human progress. He saw enemy not yet formed. He saw storm gathering beyond stars. And he placed himself at center of preparations, not for glory, not for legacy, but because someone had to. Nick Fury did not join S.H.I.E.L.D. He stepped into future, and soon future would arrive in form of a woman who fell from sky in streak of blue and light, carrying war between alien races in her wake. That encounter would change everything. Chapter 3: The 1990s and the Kree Skrull War. Meeting Carol Danvers. There are encounters that divide a life into a before and an after, moments so improbable and so violently transformative that when they arrive, they don't merely alter the path ahead, they shatter the illusion that the old path ever truly existed. For Nick Fury, that moment did not come in war zones or intelligence briefings or covert operations buried beneath dozens of security clearances. It came in 1995, on an ordinary morning in Los Angeles, when sky split open not with thunder, but with streak of cosmic fire, and a human-shaped projectile crashed through the roof of a blockbuster video store. At that time, Fury was not yet the man who would face gods or alien armies. He was senior S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, seasoned, sharp, weary, in ways most people never detect, working alongside his young partner Phil Coulson, who was still fresh-faced enough to believe world functioned according to rules. Fury believed rules existed too, but he also understood they bent under pressures no ordinary citizen ever witnessed. What he did not understand, what no one on Earth understood, was how small humanity truly was in scale of universe that had been watching them long before they learned to look up. That morning in Los Angeles would be first time Nick Fury faced truth. Earth was not isolated stage, but crossroads where empires far older and more powerful than any nation would one day collide. When Fury arrived at crash site, he expected to find fighter pilot or criminal on run, or experimental aircraft gone wrong. Instead, he found woman wearing unfamiliar combat suit, standing unbroken amid rubble, scanning environment with military precision, too sharp for someone who had just fallen from sky. She introduced herself, blunt, cautious, with name verse. Fury studied her with suspicion, sharpened by instinct honed across years. Her posture was soldier's, but mannerisms were alien. Her identification chip, retrieved from debris, bore U.S. Air Force serial number, yet she claimed allegiance to Kree Star Force, Interstellar Military Group S.H.I.E.L.D. files, barely referenced in decades-old archives marked mythic anomalies. Fury observed, listened, and weighed impossibilities. Something in her behavior, confidence mixed with uncertainty, flashes of memory slipping through cracks of imposed identity, suggested deeper truth beneath surface-level narrative she presented. Vers was not invader, not spy, not threat. She was puzzle. When she demonstrated energy blast to prove she wasn't hallucinating, Fury's understanding of world shattered with blinding clarity. No training, military or intelligence, prepares mind for first encounter with extraterrestrial power manifesting through human hands. Fury did not panic. He did what he always did when world twisted in unexpected shape. He adapted. He began investigation, linking Vers to Pegasus Project, top-secret joint NASA Air Force operation run by Dr. Wendy Lawson. Lawson, once categorized by S.H.I.E.L.D. as brilliant but eccentric researcher, had been working on experimental engine based on unknown energy source. Fury now understood engine was not theoretical, it was Kree, and Lawson herself, whose past suddenly glowed under scrutiny, was Mar-Vell, Kree defector who embedded herself within human ranks to develop light-speed engine capable of ending war between Kree and Skrulls. This revelation rewrote history Fury thought he knew. Earth had already been battleground between alien races. Government had unknowingly sheltered combatant. And Pegasus Project was not simply innovation. It was spark of interstellar conflict disguised as scientific advancement. As Fury followed trail with Vers, sharing car rides across deserts, dodging military protocols, and breaking into Pegasus' facility, something remarkable happened. Trust formed. Fury, whose life revolved around assessing threat levels and predicting betrayal before it occurred, found himself relying on someone whose identity she herself barely understood. Coulson, new to field but loyal to instinct, made choice that confirmed Fury's suspicions about Vers' nature. During pursuit through city, he let Fury and Vers escape rather than expose them. It was a moment of clarity for Fury. He recognized competence worth nurturing, loyalty worth cultivating. That loyalty seed planted during one car chase would grow into bond-shaping future of S.H.I.E.L.D. But deeper shift occurred when Fury witnessed Skrull shapeshifting for first time. Talos, posing as Coulson, attempted infiltration. Fury caught deception not through evidence nor suspicion, but through intangible awareness, subtle behavioral detail, something too off to ignore. When real Coulson phoned from outside, Fury faced creature capable of mimicking any face, replacing any trusted ally. He shot alien without hesitation, not from fear, but from understanding that world had changed and hesitation could doom it. After encountering shapeshifter bleeding green on floor, Fury stopped denying evidence before him. Aliens existed, they were here. They were skilled, intelligent, and entangled in conflict that spilled across galaxies. And Earth, unprepared and unaware, stood in middle of it. Fury had spent years anticipating unknown threats, but dealing with extraterrestrial infiltrators exceeded scale of any classified operation. He realized humanity was child-stepping onto cosmic battlefield. That realization reshaped purpose of his career. His partnership with Vers deepened not through shared mission, but through shared search for truth, hers about identity, his about world. Fury watched her regain fragments of memory, realized she had been Carol Danvers, Air Force pilot believed dead 6 years earlier in crash, orchestrated by rogue Kree warrior Yon-Rogg. As Fury assisted her, bringing her to his own home to decode clues and speak with old friends, he revealed something rare: vulnerability. Carol saw a glimpse of Fury outside hardened role, man with cat, or what he thought was cat, named Goose, subtle humor, and loyalty deep enough to risk career for truth. Fury didn't hide discomfort at realizing his own government files were incomplete and possibly manipulated. He felt betrayal not by Carol, not by S.H.I.E.L.D, but by world he served that failed to understand magnitude of what it concealed. The revelation that Skrulls, portrayed as hostile infiltrators, were in fact refugees fleeing Kree tyranny shifted Fury's perspective irrevocably. Talos' confession during conversation aboard orbiting laboratory peeled away assumptions Fury carried from decades in intelligence. He understood that wars are rarely as simple as sides governments choose. He saw Carol's awakening empathy, her fury at Kree manipulation, her realization she had been weapon aimed by empire that stole her memories. Fury witnessed first-hand complexity of interstellar politics, learning lesson that would serve him decades later, facing Chitauri, Asgardians, and beyond. Powerful forces rarely fight for reasons ordinary humans understand. Trust must be earned through actions, not species or allegiance. During Pegasus' confrontation, Fury saw Talos' courage defending his family. He saw Carol transform from soldier following orders to liberator determined to right historical wrong. And when Kree forces attacked Hidden Laboratory, unleashing battle in vacuum above Earth, Fury recognized vulnerability of his planet more acutely than ever before. Observing Carol fighting Kree Star Force, destroying missiles mid-flight, and glowing with power so immense it blurred boundaries between human and cosmic, Fury understood need for united defense force capable of responding to extraterrestrial threats. The idea of Avengers Initiative did not yet form, but blueprint existed in seed form. Preparation for war. Earth could not fight alone. After conflict, as Carol prepared to escort Skrull refugees toward new home among stars, Fury realized he had witnessed birth of something unprecedented. First superhero he ever met. In quiet moments, she handed Fury modified pager, capable of contacting her across galaxies in case of emergencies. Fury looked at device as lifeline, symbol of new era. Carol told him, only if it's an emergency. And Fury, half smiling, half weighed down by responsibility, promised to use it only when stakes surpassed anything Earth could handle. That promise would become crucial decades later. Carol's departure left Fury with a clear mission. Earth needed to be ready. Humanity needed champions, not soldiers bound by protocol, but extraordinary individuals able to stand against threats on planetary scale. Fury began drafting the Protector Initiative, intending to propose emergence of superhuman defense program. But while typing report, he lingered on photograph of Carol, her Air Force call sign Avenger printed below. Inspiration struck. He changed title. The Avengers Initiative was born not from strategy but from memory, woman whose courage redefined boundaries of human potential. Fury understood Earth needed not weapons but icons. Meanwhile, Fury returned to S.H.I.E.L.D with new determination. He exposed Hydra's attempt to exploit Pegasus technology, suppressed classified information, and initiated internal restructuring aimed at preparing agency for anomalies they could no longer ignore. He discovered Kree tech hidden within facilities, relics from crashed sites predating Carol's arrival. He filed reports directed at leadership, too conventional to understand urgency. They dismissed his warnings. Fury did not relent. Instead, he built a network of trusted individuals, Coulson among first, shaping inner circle, capable of acting decisively when bureaucracy stalled. During debriefings following Kree-Skrull incident, Fury faced questions from superiors seeking clarity. He offered controlled version of truth, enough to justify new policies without causing panic. He concealed details that might hinder future alliances. He protected Skrull survivors. He secured Kree tech as contingency. Most importantly, he positioned himself as evolving force within S.H.I.E.L.D, someone aware that world had stepped into greater cosmic narrative. Trust in Fury grew, authority expanded, pieces of future began aligning. Years that followed were not glamorous. Fury spent them preparing quietly, shaping new branches within S.H.I.E.L.D, dedicated to extraterrestrial surveillance, artifact containment, and predictive threat modeling. He studied cosmic energy signatures left by Carol's battles. He read classified files on Asgardian artifacts recovered during World War II. He monitored transmissions intercepted from beyond solar system. Everything pointed to inevitable truth. Earth had become visible to threats it could not yet comprehend. Fury realized loneliness that comes with knowing too much. He did not yet know Tony Stark would build armor in cave, nor that Steve Rogers would awaken from ice, nor that gamma radiation would birth incredible force. But he believed, without proof, that extraordinary individuals would emerge. His job was to be ready when they did. Carol Danvers changed Nick Fury's world not by saving it, but by revealing its place within a far larger stage. She made him realize that human conflict, intelligence wars, political disputes, everything he once considered epic were minor storms compared to cosmic hurricanes approaching. And Fury, unlike others, did not shrink before truth. He stepped forward. In 1995, Fury lost his eye not through heroic battle, but through ordinary moment turned painful when Goose, Flurkin disguised as Cat, scratched him. It was mundane accident wrapped in cosmic irony. To Fury, loss of eye symbolized something deeper. Trust, fragile and unpredictable. He learned to wear eye patch not as mask of toughness, but reminder that danger lurked behind friendly faces, and even allies carried claws. When Carol left Earth, she entrusted Fury with faith in humanity's potential. Faith Fury honored by dedicating his life to building infrastructure capable of defending planet. He returned to S.H.I.E.L.D, changed man, carrying weight of knowledge world wasn't ready for. He began walking path that would one day lead him to Avengers Initiative and beyond. Nick Fury's life split in two that year, before Carol and after Carol. Before 1995, he believed Earth's worst enemies came from within. After 1995, he understood worst threats came from above. And in that understanding, he found purpose destined to reshape universe. Chapter 4: Why Fury Founded the Avengers. The Protector Initiative. Nick Fury had witnessed a great many things in his lifetime. Wars fought in deserts, covert operations executed in shadows, governments rising and collapsing under pressure of secrets they themselves created. But nothing had prepared him for 1995. For the day a woman with cosmic power blazing beneath her skin fell from the heavens and revealed truth larger than humanity's imagination. After Carol Danvers left Earth to escort Skrull refugees and dismantle Kree oppression across galaxies, Fury found himself standing in an empty hangar of Project Pegasus, watching engines built from alien science cool into silence. And in that stillness, surrounded by debris of battles that human history would never record, Fury understood with clarity sharp enough to cut. Earth was not ready. Not for Kree, not for Skrulls, not for anything else that might one day descend from sky. Until that day, he believed human conflicts were a pinnacle of global threat. But after witnessing Carol fly through atmosphere like living missile and destroy Kree warship with ease, he saw Earth's helplessness exposed. Humanity was brilliant, inventive, courageous, but small, too fragile, and worse, unaware of its own vulnerability. Fury walked through Pegasus' facility that night, hands behind his back studying scorch marks carved into metal by photon blasts, and realized cosmic threat was not anomaly, it was beginning. An entire universe of powers, weapons, and beings existed beyond Earth's horizon, and planet had no defense system capable of resisting anything remotely similar. If Carol had been enemy, Earth would have fallen within minutes. That was thought Fury could not dismiss. And so, with mixture of urgency and dread, Fury began conceptualizing program that would fundamentally change future of MCU. At first, he framed proposal within language S.H.I.E.L.D understood. The Protector Initiative, a strategic plan to identify extraordinary individuals capable of responding to high-level threats faster and more effectively than conventional forces. He drafted outlines referencing Pegasus files, alien artifacts S.H.I.E.L.D had been collecting since World War II, and confidential reports of anomalies detected around globe. Fury argued Earth was entering age of unpredictability, one where nations could no longer rely on diplomacy and weaponry alone. His plan proposed small, elite team of enhanced individuals or exceptional human beings able to confront dangers surpassing capacity of any single military. S.H.I.E.L.D leadership reviewed document with skepticism, unable to grasp scale of threat. They dismissed idea as overreaction to isolated incident. To them, Carol Danvers was anomaly. To Fury, she was warning. And warnings, when ignored, become disasters. Fury returned to his office frustrated but not defeated. He reread file, studying engagement patterns between Kree and Skrulls, tracing timelines, revealing universe in state of constant war. He researched ancient artifacts S.H.I.E.L.D, retrieved from Tesseract-powered weapons Hydra attempted to develop. He examined cryptic notes left by Mar-Vell, pointing to cosmic engines, light-speed travel, energy signatures beyond Earth's science. He contacted select informants, some with access to international intelligence networks, other deeper underground. Everything pointed toward same conclusion. Carol was merely first of many. Earth would not remain hidden forever. It had already been found. Fury drafted second version of proposal, this time approaching it not as program, but necessity. Instead of bureaucratic tone, he infused document with urgency he felt pressing against future. But while typing, his eyes drifted to old photograph of Carol, taken during her Air Force days. Beneath portrait, her call sign Avenger printed boldly. Fury stared at word, simple, sharp, powerful. He deleted Protector Initiative. He typed Avengers Initiative. It was not marketing, it was statement. Earth needed more than protection. Earth needed champions. But conceptual plan was one thing, gathering individuals was another. And in late 1990s and early 2000s, Fury believed enhanced individuals were extremely rare. Carol had gained extraordinary abilities through accident combining Kree energy and human DNA. But what were odds of similar anomaly recurring? Fury did not know yet that gamma radiation would mutate scientists, nor that billionaire genius would reinvent power source, nor that super soldier lost in ice for 70 years would be revived. All he had was vision and instinct. Vision told him something was coming. Instinct told him to look, and so Fury began quietly scanning for individuals with potential, those showing unusual physical resilience, genius-level intellect capable of shaping future technologies, extraordinary tactical acumen, or unusual resilience to trauma. He studied biogenetic reports, monitored classified experiments conducted in universities, tracked unusual phenomena flagged by informants. But for years, lists remained empty. No superhumans emerged, no anomalies, no alien threats, no cosmic signals. Bureaucracy pushed back harder. "You saw something extraordinary," superiors said, "but that doesn't mean it will happen again." Fury did not argue. He waited. The universe rewards patience. In meantime, Fury worked internally to restructure S.H.I.E.L., steering agency away from reactive strategies and toward predictive models. He expanded surveillance programs not to spy on populations but to prepare for anomalies. He developed protocols for missions involving non-human technology. He built secure vaults for unknown artifacts, ensuring they remained protected from political exploitation. He trained agents personally, creating network loyal not to government but to humanity's survival. Within these years, Fury's partnership with Phil Coulson deepened. Coulson became Agent Fury trusted most, someone who believed in initiative before evidence justified it. Coulson's unwavering conviction served as anchor, grounding Fury's belief that extraordinary individuals would emerge. Then, world shifted, not through cosmic invasion, not through alien arrival, but through billionaire known globally for charismatic recklessness. Tony Stark, genius, futurist, playboy, was kidnapped by terrorist group using weapons Stark Industries manufactured. Fury monitored the situation as matter of international security, not cosmic relevance. But when Stark returned from captivity wearing prototype iron armor and revealing to press he was Iron Man, Fury felt ground beneath worldview shake. Stark had built suit of unimaginable sophistication under pressure of captivity using only scrap materials. More importantly, he built it alone, without team, without resources, without time. Fury recognized potential immediately, not because Stark was weapon, but because he was symbol of independent ingenuity. Stark was first man who demonstrated humanity could shape future without waiting for alien gifts. Fury approached him directly, stepping from shadows into living room as Stark returned home. He delivered message that would echo through MCU. "I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative." Fury understood Stark was unpredictable, unstable, ego-driven. But he also recognized his brilliance, courage, and technological capability. Stark represented dawn of new era, humanity building its own power. But Fury also recognized danger. Stark carried trauma from captivity, held guilt for enabling global conflict, and lacked discipline necessary for coordinated defense strategy. Fury monitored him closely, unsure whether Tony would become cornerstone or liability. While Stark explored role as Iron Man, Fury's network identified new anomaly, massive frozen human form recovered from Arctic ice, preserved far beyond natural limits. Fury personally oversaw recovery. When ice melted away, revealing Steve Rogers, super soldier missing since World War II, Fury's understanding of Avengers Initiative evolved profoundly. Rogers embodied concept Fury envisioned, a hero defined not by power but principle. As Rogers awoke in 2011, disoriented by loss of era, Fury greeted him with empathetic firmness. He recognized man behind legend. He recognized burden he carried. Rogers became heart of initiative. Simultaneously, another event shook cosmic landscape, Asgardian arrival. Thor appeared following banishment by Odin, bringing with him ancient conflicts spilling onto Earth. battle with Loki, confrontation with destroyer armor. Fury realized Earth was no longer visitor in cosmic politics. It was now participant. Loki's arrival and theft of Tesseract artifact of unknown cosmic potential turned initiative from proposal into necessity. Fury coordinated emergency response, knowing failure meant global catastrophe. As Avengers assembled Stark, Rogers, Thor, Banner, Romanoff, Barton, the initiative transformed into living reality. Battle of New York was test of concept. Chitauri invasion threatened Earth on scale Fury predicted years earlier. Helicarriers trembled, citizens fled, soldiers failed, and Avengers stood together for first time. After battle, Fury stood on helicarrier deck, coat sweeping in wind, eye fixed on horizon still glowing from remnants of wormhole above Stark Tower. Council scolded him for reckless decision to empower unregulated heroes. Fury responded with quiet, impenetrable certainty. They won. That victory validated decades of preparation. It justified Avengers Initiative as cornerstone of Earth's defense. Public saw heroes. Media saw spectacle. Fury saw beginning of war too large for world to comprehend. He recognized threats would escalate, and they did. Rise of Hydra within S.H.I.E.L.D. Revival of Winter Soldier, creation of Ultron, Sokovia Crisis, escalation of cosmic adversaries, all unfolded from seeds Fury planted decades earlier. Avengers Initiative became S.H.I.E.L.D. protecting humanity from extinction multiple times. And yet, Initiative also carried cost, civil conflict, collateral consequences, moral dilemmas. Fury watched them fracture, reunite, fracture again. He understood truth. Even heroes need guidance. Initiative alone was not enough. Earth needed leadership grounded not in ideology but realism. Fury embodied that realism. Why did Fury found the Avengers? Because after witnessing Carol Danvers ignite cosmic energy with bare hands, after battling shapeshifters seeking safety, after seeing Kree warships tear through Earth's sky, after learning universe was battlefield beyond comprehension, he realized painful truth. Humanity could not survive alone, but humanity also had potential to rise, to evolve, to become something greater. Avengers Initiative was not reaction to threat, it was faith in possibility. Fury built team not to fight gods, but to prove Earth deserved place among cosmic powers. Avengers existed because Nick Fury believed in future larger than fear. He believed world could stand against impossible. He believed heroes existed, not because fate chose them, but because humanity needed them. Earth's mightiest heroes were not accidents. They were answer to question. Fury asked Universe in 1995, "Who will protect us when the sky falls?" And Universe answered, through Carol, through Tony, through Steve, through Thor, through those yet to come. Nick Fury did not create the Avengers Initiative to save world, he created it because world was destined to change forever. Chapter 5 Fury vs. Hydra. The Silent War beneath S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury had long believed that the greatest threats to world were those emerging from sky alien armies, cosmic powers, gods, and monsters whose existence shattered boundaries of human imagination. But as years after Carol Danvers passed, and as Avengers Initiative matured into a living force protecting humanity, Fury began uncovering truth far more insidious than Kree infiltrators or Chitauri invasion. Enemy had not descended from heavens, nor risen from unknown realms, nor crawled out of cosmic shadows. It had grown quietly beneath their feet, inside very organizations sworn to safeguard humanity. Hydra, thought annihilated in 1945 after fall of Red Skull and destruction of his fascist techno-empire, had not died. It had evolved, replicated, and embedded itself within S.H.I.E.L.D's bones. like parasite learning to mimic host. For decades, Hydra's surviving officers, scientists, and loyalists, led by incapacitated but technologically immortal intellect of Arnim Zola, had rebuilt themselves not as armies but as bureaucrats, analysts, sleeper agents, advisors, and technicians. They influenced recruitment, manipulated missions, curated intelligence leaks, sabotaged operations, and shaped policy so subtly that entire agency shifted trajectory without noticing. Fury, as rising operative and later senior officer, sensed irregularities without yet seeing Hydra's full anatomy. Reports disappeared. Missions ended prematurely without explanation. Resources were diverted. Technologies retrieved from field vanished inside classified vaults Fury could not access. When Fury began investigating anomalies, he found patterns reminiscent of intelligence corruption he had encountered overseas, but far too organized for random accidents or bureaucratic failure. There were names he saw repeatedly in places they did not belong, signatures on documents contradicting chain of command, decisions approved by committees that did not officially exist. Fury felt presence watching from shadows, not hostile enough to confront directly, but lingering too close for comfort. He started studying history of S.H.I.E.L.D, realizing organization born from SSR had inherited sins unspoken. Zola, captured after war, had been recruited under Operation Paperclip, building computer systems and intelligence algorithms that directed agency for decades. While official records claimed Zola cooperated under supervision, Fury discovered encrypted logs suggesting Zola used access to seed ideology through digital architecture. Long before anyone realized artificial intelligence was vulnerability, Hydra had become self-preserving algorithm. Fury attempted to access Zola's archive firsthand, but encountered classified partitions sealed with clearance levels above even his own. That was first true alarm. Fury had top-level authorization, yet someone had authority beyond Director's office. Someone who reviewed files before Director did. Someone orchestrated machinery behind scenes. As Fury rose to deputy director under Alexander Pierce, man he respected for leadership and integrity, he began noticing decisions that contradicted S.H.I.E.L.D's mission. Pierce was charismatic, diplomatic, and efficient. He had deep connections with the World Security Council, coordinating global operations and stabilizing geopolitical crises. To Fury, Pierce represented ideal leader, pragmatic, strong, decisive. Yet sometimes his orders felt disproportionate. Missions designed as extraction became elimination. Negotiations involving superhuman anomalies ended with disappearances. Files were sealed arbitrarily, citing international security. Fury questioned Pierce subtly, testing boundaries. Pierce responded with paternal reassurance. You're talented, Nick, but some intelligence is too large for any one man. Trust process. Fury trusted Pierce, at least in those early years. But trust is rope that tightens around neck if handed to wrong hands. Everything changed when Fury began overseeing development of Phase 2 weapons, reverse-engineered technologies derived from Hydra's original Tesseract research. Fury did not love idea of building weapons from cosmic relics, but pressure from Council after Loki's scepter and threat of extraterrestrial invasions forced his hand. Fury rationalized necessity, believing weapons were deterrent. But during inspection of sub-level labs, Fury discovered engineers installing targeting algorithms he did not authorize. System-integrated pattern recognition software designed to predict threats before they emerged. Fury recognized code disturbingly similar to statistical models Arnim Zola had once developed. When Fury confronted technicians, they claimed approval came from Pierce. Fury escalated concern, and Pierce, calm, firm, disappointed, warned Fury not to micromanage. Fury returned to his office uneasy. He realized too many projects operated autonomously, too many decisions made without director's knowledge. Hydra knew how to grow without drawing attention. Then came project that marked transition from concern to paranoia. Project Insight. Under Pierce's direction, S.H.I.E.L.D. developed 3 helicarriers equipped with satellite-linked targeting systems capable of neutralizing threats across globe preemptively. At first, Fury sported concept. After Battle of New York, after seeing a wormhole ripped through sky, after seeing Chitauri flood Manhattan, Fury believed world needed layers of defense. Insight presented itself as S.H.I.E.L.D. around Earth, a second Avengers. But software underlying targeting system triggered memory of earlier discoveries. Fury demanded demonstration. When he saw how algorithms selected potential threats based on predictive behavioral analysis, social patterns, and probability of future crimes, Fury felt sickness deep in chest. Insight didn't protect world, it pacified it. It turned S.H.I.E.L.D. into judge, jury, and executioner. It would kill millions based on calculations. Fury confronted Pierce fiercely, tension crackling between men once bonded by trust. Pierce defended Project with cold logic. To build a better world sometimes means tearing the old one down. Fury recognized phrase echo of Hydra doctrine, and for first time he saw Pierce clearly not as mentor, but infiltrator. After that meeting, Fury initiated covert investigation. He dug into Pierce's connections, traced communications, reviewed personnel assignments, and discovered disturbing pattern. Pierce had recruited individuals who all passed through obscure training programs with no public oversight and connections to Zola stations. Many held high-ranking positions, many controlled S.H.I.E.L.D's infrastructure. Fury understood enormity of conspiracy. Hydra had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. at structural level. They had used trust to infiltrate, bureaucracy to grow, and fear to justify expansion. Fury realized he was surrounded. To expose Hydra, Fury needed evidence. But evidence required access. Hydra denied him. He attempted to decrypt data block related to Insight, but Hydra's backdoor protocols shut him out. Fury requested Pierce's authorization codes, citing security redundancy concerns. Pierce smiled warmly and granted clearance, but code was trapped. As soon as Fury accessed restricted partition, system triggered silent alarm. Pierce knew Fury was investigating him. Fury felt no immediate retaliation, but he recognized Hydra's change in posture. They watched him. Fury planned fallback, test reliability of people around him. He monitored Romanoff, Barton, and Hill, observing reactions to secret protocols. He concluded Hill understood something was wrong. She was sharp, loyal, and suspicious of new directives. Romanoff sensed hidden agendas. Barton was compromised by Loki previously and still recovering. Fury kept him away from sensitive intel. Coulson, meanwhile, died during the Chitauri invasion, or so world believed. Fury kept truth hidden. Coulson revived via Project TAHITI, but kept distant from organization to avoid oversight from compromised channels. Fury worked with fragmented trust, seeds of team that would one day rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. When Fury submitted requests to delay Insight launch indefinitely, citing concerns about operational ethics, Pierce denied requests and summoned Fury for private discussion. Fury, expecting ambush, brought backup but entered room alone. Pierce greeted him kindly, speaking respectfully of duty, sacrifice, global stability. But beneath surface of rhetoric, Fury heard fanaticism. the unwavering belief that world must be controlled preemptively in name of order. Pierce attempted subtle manipulation. We're both realists, Nick. We do what needs to be done. Fury interrupted calmly. I do what protects people. You do what scares them into submission. Tone shifted. Pierce warned Fury not to obstruct insight. Fury left room. Resolved, he would dismantle Project and expose Hydra. Fury attempted data extraction using encrypted storage device during scheduled system diagnostics. Hydra retaliated. As Fury drove through streets of Washington, D.C., anticipating ambush, black SUVs descended around him. Fury's car, armored, weaponized S.H.I.E.L.D issue, became Coffin. Hydra operatives masquerading as police tried killing him. Fury triggered defense protocols, fought through attack with precision and tactical calm, but number of assailants was overwhelming. He barely escaped using emergency burrow drill and Hydra's overconfidence in his mortality. Wounded, Fury fled to Steve Rogers' apartment, recognizing only moral clarity in man out of time. Fury collapsed after warning Rogers, S.H.I.E.L.D is compromised. Hydra's assassin, Winter Soldier, brainwashed Bucky Barnes, shot him through window. Fury faked death using drug-lowering vitals to near zero, leaving only Hill and few trusted contacts aware he lived. Fury watched from shadows as world believed he died. Public saw fallen hero. Hydra saw obstacle removed. Fury saw opportunity. While hiding in safe house, Fury coordinated with Hill to gather allies. He re-emerged during climax of Winter Soldier storyline, confronting Pierce and Triskelion. Fury removed eye patch, revealing scarred eye, symbol of trust lost years earlier after incident with Goose. He told Pierce, I can bring order without taking freedom. Battle unfolded. Rogers, Romanoff, Falcon, Fury, and Hill fought Hydra control room to override Insight system. Pierce used biometric lock requiring Fury's authorization. Fury confronted Hydra philosophy directly. He refused visions of surveillance state disguised as security. Insight helicarriers launched into sky targeting millions. Rogers replaced algorithms with coordinates causing helicarriers to fire upon each other. Triskelion collapsed. Hydra revealed. Fury watched Empire he served burn, not from enemy bombs but from truth finally unmasked. After battle, Fury stood among ruins of S.H.I.E.L.D headquarters wearing simple jacket, discarding director persona he carried for years. He told Hill S.H.I.E.L.D needed to disappear so Hydra could not use its skeleton. He burned documentation, erased identities, destroyed infrastructures compromised by decades of corruption. In Eyes of World, Fury died twice, first physically, then symbolically. He retreated underground, visiting grave marked with Ezekiel verse, the path of the righteous man. Fury chose exile. From shadows, he continued guiding world as ghost, mentor to Avengers, strategist without institution, guardian without badge. Hydra, though wounded, survived. It would later attempt new infiltrations, supporting Wolfgang von Strucker's experiments with S.A.B.E.R, experimenting with enhanced individuals, manipulating global events. Fury tracked them, dismantling nests quietly, but greatest victory was survival of Avengers. They evolved into world's primary defense Team Hydra could not corrupt. Fury's war with Hydra was not glorious, it was betrayal felt in bones, battle fought with trust shattered, enemy hiding behind friends. Hydra taught Fury darkest truth. Greatest threats are not aliens descending from sky, they are ideologies embedding themselves inside institutions meant to protect world. But Fury endured, and from ashes of S.H.I.E.L.D, He would prepare for threats far larger, threats that would make Hydra look like shadow of past compared to storms approaching from beyond stars. Chapter 6: The First Avenger Returns, Fury and the Revival of Steve Rogers. When Nick Fury first saw the file labeled Project Iceberg, he expected anomaly, perhaps sunken Hydra vessel, perhaps experimental aircraft buried in Arctic ice, but he did not expect history itself preserved in frozen tomb, did not expect living myth whose story he had studied since childhood, did not expect a man who died long before Fury ever joined army to be waiting beneath miles of Arctic cold. Captain America, Steve Rogers, was icon from era before Fury was born. Symbol of courage fused with propaganda. Legend remembered in history books and murals, used by governments to inspire decades of soldiers. Fury had grown up hearing stories of Rogers piloting Valkyrie into ocean, sacrificing himself to save world, ending war with final act of devotion. Fury respected man he believed gone. He admired Rogers not for invincibility but humility, strength without arrogance, moral clarity rarely found in men Fury met during career. So, when S.H.I.E.L.D discovered aircraft buried beneath ice, energy readings faint yet unmistakably advanced, Fury personally oversaw recovery. As team drilled into frozen wreckage, revealing metal hull marked with insignia of long-defunct SSR, Fury felt weight of time pressing against present. He stood on ice sheet that had kept Rogers suspended between life and death for nearly 70 years. When engineers opened cockpit and found body inside, preserved intact, heart faintly beating, Fury felt world shift. Steve Rogers was alive. For days, Fury monitored Rogers' vitals through glass walls of medical chamber. Doctors from S.H.I.E.L.D and military collaborated, unsure how super soldier serum preserved man beyond natural limits. Fury understood significance immediately. Captain America was not simply soldier revived. He was relic of simpler moral age returning to era defined by ambiguity. Fury feared shock would break Rogers. Man uprooted from war he knew, awakened in world where good and evil no longer wore recognizable uniforms. Fury felt responsibility to handle revival with empathy. He requested no cameras, no media, no press releases. Rogers deserved dignity, not spectacle. Fury planned controlled reintroduction, slow, cautious, humane. But when Rogers awoke, panic surfaced. Doctors attempted easing transition by recreating 1940s hospital room, playing period-appropriate baseball broadcast, hoping to soften blow of temporal dislocation. But Rogers noticed wrong details, out-of-place architecture, inaccurate game replay, sound too clean. Rogers broke containment, escaping into modern New York. Fury intercepted him in Times Square, neon, screens, skyscrapers towering over man who left world where tallest building was Empire State. Rogers stood bewildered, surrounded by color, noise, movement. Fury approached with calm, stepping carefully, understanding shock could fracture psyche. "You've been asleep," Fury explained, voice measured. For almost 70 years, Rogers absorbed information without theatrics, stoic but visibly shaken. Fury saw pain behind eyes. Rogers, man out of time, faced grief in quiet way. Grief for lost friends, lost world, lost era. Fury arranged safe housing and minimal contact until Rogers adjusted. Fury knew Rogers needed space but also purpose, idle hero breaks. So Fury assigned mission gradually, consultation on Tesseract research, minimal field support for S.H.I.E.L.D operations. Rogers learned modern tactics, trained with soldiers decades younger. Fury observed transformation. Rogers adapted without resentment. He studied modern ethics, geopolitics, advanced sciences. But he also questioned S.H.I.E.L.D. protocols. Fury, accustomed to secrecy, faced scrutiny from men who believed transparency was virtue. Rogers asked direct questions. Fury offered selective truths. Their dynamic became push and pull. Rogers demanded honesty. Fury offered necessary information. Rogers valued moral clarity. Fury valued strategic deception. Yet, beneath friction, Fury felt something he had not felt in a long time: trust. Rogers did not seek power, he sought righteousness. Fury respected that, even if he could not emulate it. When Tesseract became active within Pegasus-derived research facility under Eric Selvig, Fury realized Rogers' presence would become vital. Loki's arrival, theft of Tesseract, death of Coulson, and ensuing chaos required hero with integrity, strong enough to unify fractured forces. Fury recruited Rogers fully, presenting mission as global threat requiring war hero. Rogers questioned motives. Fury recognized skepticism. But Rogers accepted. Understanding stakes transcended personal discomfort. Fury appreciated that. Rogers became backbone of early Avengers, calming conflict between Stark's arrogance, Thor's otherworldly detachment, Banner's fear, and Romanoff's secrets. Fury often watched interactions from surveillance screens, noting Rogers' leadership emerged naturally, not through authority but respect. He inspired, guided, listened. Fury recognized Rogers as anchor of initiative. After Battle of New York, Fury observed Rogers quietly leaning over destroyed streets during cleanup, guilt weighing heavy. Rogers felt responsible for collateral damage. Fury approached him, offering reassurance. "You saved us," Fury told him. "All of us." Rogers responded with humility. Fury admired him. Rogers was hero who measured success not through victory, but harm avoided. But Fury also sensed tension brewing. Rogers struggled with S.H.I.E.L.D's secrecy, uncomfortable with opaque oversight, morally opposed to manipulation. Fury anticipated fracture, but he also recognized necessity of divergent philosophies. Initiative needed both clarity and espionage. Fury believed he could balance both, but future proved otherwise. In years leading to Winter Soldier incident, Fury often met Rogers privately, discussing missions, history, values. Rogers asked why S.H.I.E.L.D. kept so many secrets. Fury explained truth. S.H.I.E.L.D. was founded with good intentions. But we deal with threats normal people can't imagine. We make compromises. Rogers responded, "Every time someone says that, people lose freedom." Fury felt sting. Rogers' moral code challenged him more deeply than enemy infiltration. When Fury revealed Project Insight, Rogers disapproved. Insight promised safety through preemptive elimination. Rogers saw tyranny. Fury saw necessity. He admitted discomfort with scale, but defended Project under pressure from Pierce. Yet Rogers' reaction planted doubt in Fury's mind. Rogers reminded him world worth protecting was world with freedom intact. Fury questioned Insight more intensely thereafter. Rogers had impact deeper than he realized. When Fury was attacked by Hydra, posing as police, he fled to Rogers not because Rogers was nearest ally, but because Rogers was man he trusted most. Fury whispered truth. S.H.I.E.L.D. is compromised. Rogers absorbed gravity instantly. Fury collapsed, believing Hydra victory imminent. Before he died, Fury met Rogers in hospital room disguised as Morgue, instructing him to trust no one. Message Rogers carried became spark that ignited Hydra's downfall. After Hydra's exposure and collapse of S.H.I.E.L.D., Fury met Rogers at Safe House. Rogers expressed disappointment that Fury hid information. Fury admitted mistakes but insisted he acted to protect world. Rogers forgave Fury, not through words, but trust and cooperation. Fury recognized Rogers' forgiveness as a gift he did not fully deserve. Together they visited Graveyard, where Fury's tombstone bore Samuel L. Jackson's Pulp Fiction, quote, "a meta-joke world would never understand." Fury decided to stay off-grid. Rogers understood. Fury handed leadership of future resistance to Rogers. "The world needs you," Fury told him. Rogers nodded. Their mutual respect became bonds surviving wars, civil conflicts, ideological fractures. When Rogers led Avengers into Age of Ultron crisis, Fury returned from shadows, guiding them, providing intelligence, and ensuring survival. Fury and Rogers' bond deepened through crises, Sokovia, Ultron, aftermath of world government oversight. Though Rogers opposed Sokovia Accords, Fury understood his reasoning. Fury never interfered but observed. Rogers remained figure Fury believed in, even when fractured from Avengers. When Rogers later returned in Endgame timeline to help reassemble team after decimation, Fury was not present. He himself had been snapped. But when Fury returned after Blip, standing quietly at Tony Stark's funeral, he looked at Rogers, older, ready to pass mantle, and felt complex gratitude. Rogers had become symbol Fury dreamed Initiative would produce. In time, Rogers traveled through past, restored Infinity Stones, and grew old in alternate branch of reality. When he returned at the end of his journey, a man with decades of life lived, wiser, gentler, he passed S.H.I.E.L.D. to Sam Wilson. Fury did not witness exchange, but later learned. Rogers' legacy would live through Wilson. Fury respected decision deeply. Steve Rogers' return changed Fury more than any alien encounter. Rogers reminded him humanity was worth saving, not due to power but conscience. Rogers showed him that leadership meant service, not control. Rogers shaped Avengers into force greater than sum of weapons, strategies, and technologies. Rogers challenged Fury's worldview, softened edges of espionage, and reminded him, even in world of gods, wizards, and monsters, truth mattered. When Fury later helped shape S.A.B.E.R. in orbit, preparing Earth for cosmic diplomacy and future conflicts, echoes of Rogers' philosophy remained inside him. Fury fought shadow wars, made compromises, but remembered Rogers' clarity. Rogers changed Fury not through ideology, but example, and Fury carried that with him, even when stars grew dark, even when trust broke, even when wars expanded beyond imagination. Nick Fury revived Steve Rogers physically, but in turn, Steve Rogers revived something inside Fury, belief in humanity uncorrupted by shadows. And that belief would soon face new tests when sky opened again, when threats grew larger, and when Tony Stark forced Fury to confront another type of hero entirely. Chapter 7: The Battle of New York. When Fury's fears became reality, Nick Fury had spent years preparing for threats no one else believed in, building contingencies in shadows, assembling fragmented intel from alien encounters, cosmic anomalies, and whispers of interstellar conflict, and yet nothing. Not Carol Danvers, not Project Pegasus, not Tesseract studies, not even Hydra's secret manipulations had prepared him fully for the day. Sky over Manhattan tore open like wounded fabric, exposing the world to nightmare he had long feared, but could never describe. Earth, no longer hidden, had become battlefield. The Battle of New York was not simply invasion, it was revelation. It was moment universe announced itself to humanity with violent clarity, shattering illusions that Earth was small, safe, or separate from wars beyond its comprehension. For Fury, this event was not surprise. He had predicted something like it since 1995. but confrontation with magnitude far beyond worst-case models. Everything he built, everything he believed, everything he feared aligned into singular crisis. It began before Portal opened. Fury received emergency notification from S.H.I.E.L.D. scientists stationed with Eric Selvig in remote energy facility. Tesseract artifact S.H.I.E.L.D. took from Howard Stark's World War II recovery had activated without external input. Its energy destabilized containment, breached security protocols, emitted bursts of gamma cosmic radiation beyond scale of any human-built reactor. Fury arrived immediately, coat still draped from evening assignment, expression stern but calm. He knew force behind activation was not terrestrial. He read fear in Selvig's eyes, scientist controlled but shaken, unsure how Tesseract awakened. Agents scrambled, containment devices collapsed. Alarms blared. Fury ordered evacuation. Then the room flashed with violent blue. Tesseract opened gateway. Loki, god of mischief returned from abyss between realms, stepped through portal. Not same Loki who left Asgard, this Loki bore presence of domination. Eyes alive with feverish purpose, mind twisted by a touch of Mind Stone embedded in scepter given by Thanos. Loki attacked instantly. Agents fell. S.H.I.E.L.D. personnel betrayed their own ranks under Scepter's influence. Clint Barton, Hawkeye, one of Fury's greatest assets, one of the few lives he trusted without hesitation, became first prisoner of Loki's control. Fury watched friend turn enemy with single touch of glowing scepter. Loki demanded Tesseract. Fury refused but could not stop God. Facility collapsed. Fury escaped by inches. Flying from explosion he could feel through windows of SUV as shockwave shattered ground. As fire rose behind him, he understood. This was war he had waited for. Aliens, gods, portals, weapons not born of Earth. Everything Fury told Council would one day arrive had come. He contacted Council presenting Loki's theft as planetary emergency. But they argued bureaucracy, protocol, hesitation. Fury felt fury, ironic echo of name, rise, but control himself. He needed Avengers. Initiative he proposed in years following Carol Danvers now stood as only defense. Loki had army. Earth had 6 individuals, broken, conflicted, volatile. Yet Fury believed in them. He sent Natasha Romanoff to recruit Bruce Banner, man haunted by monstrous alter ego. He sent Coulson to convince Tony Stark, billionaire genius with guilt, complex disguised as sarcasm. Fury approached Steve Rogers personally, man from simpler era, now thrust into global conflict. "We need you," Fury told him. Rogers nodded. Fury saw determination behind weariness. Then Thor arrived, descending like thunderstorm. Fury realized alliance greater than human possibility had formed. Fury assembled them aboard Helicarrier, floating fortress representing peak of S.H.I.E.L.D. engineering. From above clouds, Earth seemed small, fragile. Fury briefed team, pushing them toward cooperation, but heroes clashed. Stark challenged authority. Rogers defended virtue. Banner feared his own power. Romanoff watched silently, analyzing threats within team. Thor carried weight of family conflict. Loki was his brother. Fury stood before them not as commander but as fulcrum balancing egos and fears. Coulson assisted, providing emotional stability. Fury relied on him quietly. Coulson believed in heroes. Fury believed in Coulson. S.H.I.E.L.D. tracked Loki to Germany. Rogers engaged first. Stark joined dramatically, descending with AC/DC soundtrack. Fury later admitted he smirked privately. Thor intervened, capturing Loki. Team tension peaked in forest confrontation. Fury observed remote feeds. knowing conflict among Avengers threatened mission more than Loki's army. He needed unity, but unity arrived only after tragedy. Loki attacked Helicarrier, unleashing Hulk and killing agents. Coulson confronted Loki alone, armed with experimental destroyer cannon. Coulson died believing in Avengers. Fury found Coulson's body and knew symbols stronger than orders was needed. He gathered blood-stained Captain America trading cards belonging to Coulson, held dear by him. Fury presented cards to Avengers, implying Coulson carried them during death. Cards were actually taken from Locker. Fury manipulated narrative to unify broken team. Critics might call act manipulation. Fury called it necessity. Coulson's death could either divide or unite Avengers. Fury ensured it united. Meanwhile, Loki opened portal above Stark Tower using Tesseract device built by mind-controlled S.H.I.E.L.D. When portal burned through sky, revealing depth of space, Fury's deepest fear materialized. Extraterrestrial army descending. Chitauri forces poured through rift, gliding through Manhattan like metallic locusts. Fury attempted immediate response, dispatching jets, coordinating police, warning evacuation centers. But human weapons barely slowed. Wave. Fury confronted World Security Council as they ordered nuclear launch on Manhattan. Fury argued, furious, warning that nuke would kill millions. Council ignored him. Fury attempted preventing launch, shooting one jet. Second jet launched nuke despite Fury's resistance. Fury washed with devastation, radiating from only eye he had left. Battle unfolded at scale mankind had never imagined. Fury watched Avengers live feed from command center. Rogers coordinating civilians, Stark neutralizing ships, Romanoff navigating chaos, Banner transforming into Hulk and smashing Leviathan with single punch, Thor channeling lightning to ash invaders, Barton dispatching targets with precise arrows. Fury saw team functioning not as individuals but collective force. Initiative succeeded. Avengers defended Earth. Stark intercepted nuclear missile when Council attempted erasing Manhattan. He carried missile through portal directly into Chitauri command ship, sacrificing himself. Fury saw feet cut, believing Stark dead. Rogers watched with clenched jaw. Thor's shoulders dropped. Romanoff froze. Banner stared. But Stark survived, falling unconscious through portal before it closed. Hulk caught him. Fury exhaled relief. Avengers won. Portal closed. Chitauri forces collapsed. Manhattan bruised but alive. Press gathered. Civilians cheered. Fury walked streets later, stepping over rubble, acknowledging sacrifices. He faced Council who criticized autonomy of Avengers. Fury dismissed concerns. They're not control, Fury told them, but they're necessary. Council threatened containment protocols. Fury ignored them. He knew Avengers had become symbol world needed. Battle transformed Earth. Children wore Captain America helmets. Merchants sold Thor hammers. Stark's tower became beacon. Media speculated about aliens, gods. Governments reevaluated defense strategies. Fury saw ripple effect, but he also saw danger. Earth was now known to universe. Thanos learned of mortal heroes. Cosmic consequences began. Fury held secret meetings with Hill, analyzing aftermath. Tesseract gone, returned to Asgard by Thor. Loki imprisoned, Stark traumatized by knowledge of cosmic vastness. Rogers lost in guilt for destruction. Banner feared Hulk's uncontrollable power. Romanoff scarred from past, Barton recovering from mind control. Fury observed all. In private, Fury stood on rooftop overlooking city and whispered, "This was only beginning." He believed next threat would dwarf Chitauri. He tasked S.H.I.E.L.D. with scanning cosmos. He tracked anomalies. He prepared Avengers for future. But Fury also grieved Coulson privately. Loss of friend Wade. Fury considered failures. Could he have prevented mind control? Could he have predicted Council's nuclear strike? Could he have protected S.H.I.E.L.D. from Hydra sooner? Fury carried guilt but converted it into vigilance. Battle of New York validated every fear Fury carried since meeting Carol Danvers. It proved he was right to prepare Avengers. It proved world needed extraordinary individuals. It proved universe saw Earth. Fury strengthened resolve. He rebuilt initiative, expanded training, initiated plans for future threats. He positioned Avengers not as crisis response unit but as permanent defense. Battle hardened him, but it also gave hope because humanity, fragile and small, fought gods and survived. Nick Fury believed fear sharpens vision. Battle of New York sharpened entire planet. Fury looked sky differently. He no longer saw stars. He saw warning. He saw invasion routes. He saw opportunities. He saw new age. Battle of New York was not end. It was prelude. And Fury knew next threat would rise not from Portal but from within. Hydra, Ultron, Accords, Civil War, Sokovia, Infinity Stones, storms ahead. But Fury would meet each with same resolve he showed when sky cracked. Earth will not fall while he still draws breath. Chapter 8. The Avengers Disassembled. Fury's Manipulations and the Price of Control. After the Battle of New York, when dust settled and portal scars still lingered in the sky like faint bruises the world could not fully understand, Nick Fury found himself standing before unexpected truth. He had brought together extraordinary individuals, capable of defending Earth from impossible threats, but in doing so, he had unintentionally created something far more complex than simple strike team. Avengers were not soldiers. They were not operatives bound by protocol. They were a volatile family stitched together by trauma, ego, moral conviction, and unimaginable power. And Fury, who had spent entire life managing dangerous personalities in intelligence communities, now faced reality that even he could not fully control them. The Avengers were symbol of hope and also spark of instability. They saved world, but they also exposed it. Fury understood team's value but also fragility. From the moment Manhattan returned to fragile peace, the Avengers began drifting apart, each pulled by internal ghosts and individual missions. Fury sensed disbandment long before anyone else admitted it, not because they lacked loyalty, but because they were human, flawed, hurting, searching for purpose after surviving cosmic war. Tony Stark spiraled first. Fury recognized signs immediately. Stark had always worn bravado like armor, masking guilt and existential dread beneath sarcasm and confidence. But after New York, he was changed. Fury watched Stark study reports of wormhole, Chitauri anatomy, energy readings of portal. He saw Stark hyperventilate during briefings, drown anxiety in engineering projects, and lose sleep as he prepared contingencies, not just for terrestrial threats, but cosmic ones. Stark feared next invasion, next portal, next world-ending event. Fury offered support indirectly, sending S.H.I.E.L.D. intel to Stark to ground him in reality. But Stark's fear bloomed uncontrollably. He built dozens of Iron Man suits. Fury understood obsession, but also danger. A hero afraid of future might try to control it. Fury monitored Stark carefully, but recognized Stark would drift from Avengers until he regained stability. Bruce Banner also withdrew. Trauma of unleashing Hulk on helicarrier weighed heavily. Fury valued Banner's intellect, but Banner feared becoming weapon beyond control. Fury respected Banner's choice to search for peace elsewhere, not forcing him to stay. He understood the difference between loyalty and imprisonment. Banner's absence created gap in initiative. Thor returned to Asgard with Loki and Tesseract, leaving Earth without Cosmic Guardian. Fury anticipated this. Asgard's involvement in Earth affairs was temporary privilege, not long-term guarantee. Fury noted Tesseract's removal from Earth with mixed feeling, relief, and concern. Without Tesseract, Hydra could not exploit it, but without Tesseract, Fury lost ability to study energy, signature that might help predict future invasions. Clint Barton and Natasha Romanoff carried scars too deep for public eye to see. Barton recovered from mind control, haunted by actions he did not choose. Fury offered support quietly, assigning Barton to remote reconnaissance missions to rebuild confidence. Romanoff, hardened by Red Room trauma, found brief stability with Avengers during battle, but her worldview remained shattered. Fury relied heavily on her, understanding she was operative who needed purpose, not applause. Steve Rogers was perhaps most lost. Fury observed Rogers trying to adapt to modern world, studying internet, visiting museums, understanding wars fought since his era. Rogers displayed stoic calm, but Fury sensed loneliness behind discipline. Fury did not push him. Rogers was adjusting to a world too digitally interconnected, morally fractured, politically complex. Fury assigned Rogers missions hunting remaining Hydra cells, believing action would ground him. In aftermath of New York, Fury stood on helicarrier deck watching 6 heroes drift apart, each shaped by trauma, battle left behind. They were no longer unified force, but scattered individuals united only by memory of war. Fury saw disassembly happen not through conflict but through silence. Fury tried to hold team together. He organized meetings, but attendance fluctuated. He proposed training sessions, but each hero faced personal challenges. He introduced the idea of Avengers Facility, but funding and international politics slowed process. Fury sensed need to adjust strategy. If he could not hold Avengers together physically, he would bind them through shared purpose, protection of world. Fury focused on expanding intelligence networks, gathering data on anomalies, developing programs addressing threats Avengers might one day face. But tension brewed beneath surface. World governments, shocked by destruction in New York, demanded oversight. S.H.I.E.L.Ds came under fire. Fury defended Avengers publicly, but privately saw looming conflict. Nations feared heroes with no regulation. Fury understood fear, but also mistrust. Bureaucracies chasing control. He stood between Avengers and political pressure, absorbing criticism to shield team. Meanwhile, Fury began working on Hidden Contingency, Project Insight. Initially proposed as early warning defense program, it evolved under Pierce into preemptive strike system. Fury believed surveillance and rapid response technology were necessary after New York, but he had no idea Hydra's infiltration corrupted project into instrument of tyranny. Fury's gradual opposition to Insight created rift between him and Council. They accused Fury of enabling chaos by endorsing Avengers. Fury argued Avengers were not threat, they were salvation. Council saw unstable forces. Fury saw heroes. As years progressed, Avengers drifted into separate missions. Fury manipulated circumstances to bring them back together whenever world faced danger. When Thor returned chasing Dark Elves, Fury monitored event closely. When Stark investigated Mandarin, Fury sent zero interference, knowing Stark needed autonomy. But when Hydra resurfaced violently during Winter Soldier events, Fury realized Avengers were needed united again. Unfortunately, team's internal fractures had deepened. Fury suffered attack that nearly killed him. Hydra exposed itself, shattered S.H.I.E.L.D, and forced Fury into hiding. Avengers needed guidance, but Fury could not lead openly. He watched from shadows as Rogers, Romanoff, and Sam Wilson unraveled Hydra's plot. Fury returned only when necessary to deliver decisive blow. With S.H.I.E.L.D gone, Fury lost institutional leverage holding Avengers together. Team now floated independently, self-governing, powerful enough to reshape geopolitics. Fury grew concerned. Without guidance, Avengers could splinter permanently. New threat emerged, Ultron, born from combination of Stark's trauma and mind-derived knowledge from S.A.B.E.R. Ultron became manifestation of everything Fury feared about uncontrolled power. When Stark concealed Project, Fury recognized mistake but did not condemn him. He understood Stark's motivations more than others did. Ultron Crisis devastated Sokovia, killing civilians, destroying city. Avengers saved world but also damaged it. Fury flew in on helicarrier, vessel resurrected secretly with the help of Maria Hill and remaining loyalists to evacuate civilians. He stood beside Rogers, supporting battle from sidelines, but Fury knew global perception of Avengers changed. What once symbolized hope now symbolized danger. Fury advised them, but saw division deepening, ideological differences between Stark and Rogers widening into schism. Then came Sokovia Accords. Fury, still in shadows after S.H.I.E.L.D's collapse, did not publicly intervene. He observed as governments sought control. Stark accepted oversight out of guilt. Rogers rejected out of principle. Fury saw tragedy forming, civil war born from ethical divide, not malice. He tried mediating behind scenes but failed. Avengers split. Price of control became clear. Fury once manipulated team to unify them. He believed he could shape heroes through guidance. But heroes were not operatives. They were people. They broke under pressure. Fury accepted responsibility. His attempt to balance secrecy with heroism fractured Avengers. Yet Fury never stopped believing in them. He saw both sides, understanding Stark's guilt and Rogers' moral clarity. Fury stepped away, focusing on new threats, alien signals, global unrest, rise of enhanced individuals. Avengers remained divided until tragedy forced reunion. Thanos arrived. Fury witnessed decimation firsthand, Maria Hill dissolving beside him. Fury sent final message on pager, calling Carol Danvers, first hero who inspired Avengers. Fury vanished seconds later. He died believing Avengers would fail without unity. 5 years later, he returned. He did not lead battle. Against Thanos, team did. Avengers, assembled again through grief and mutual purpose, saved universe. Fury attended Stark's funeral, standing silently at lakeside, coat shifting in breeze. He did not speak. He simply honored fallen hero whose flaws once frustrated him, but whose heart had saved world. After Endgame, Fury recognized Avengers changed forever. Rogers gone, Stark dead, Romanoff sacrificed, Barton retired, Banner transformed beyond recognition, Thor adrift. Fury adapted again. He directed focus skyward, creating S.A.B.E.R station to manage cosmic diplomacy, prevent future invasions, and prepare next generation of defenders. Fury accepted that Avengers disassembled not because he failed to control them, but because heroes choose their own paths. Control was illusion. Guidance was truth. He learned price of manipulation, fractured trust. He learned value of autonomy, heroes who stand even without orders. Nick Fury's dream of unified team lived, died, and resurrected through crises. Avengers disassembled, but their legacy endured. And Fury, wiser and more cautious, continued protecting world not through secrecy but strategy, trusting that when sky inevitably darkened again, heroes, old or new, would rise. Chapter 9: The Fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury's Betrayal, Death, and Rebirth. Nick Fury had always known that institutions, like people, could bleed. They could rot from within, decay quietly behind polished walls, lose their purpose long before anyone dared to say it aloud. S.H.I.E.L.D., the organization Fury had served for decades and eventually commanded, had been designed as shield between world and its dangers, a bastion of international cooperation built from ashes of World War II and strengthened by men and women who believed in security before glory, sacrifice before recognition. But beneath that noble architecture, beneath layers of classified missions and shadow protocols, a parasite had festered for 70 years, growing unnoticed inside the nervous system of global security. By the time Fury realized scale of corruption, S.H.I.E.L.D. was no longer S.H.I.E.L.D. It had become weapon, loaded and cocked at humanity itself. Hydra had not infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra had become S.H.I.E.L.D. Rewriting code, replacing personnel, shaping programs, nudging policies with invisible hands until entire institution unknowingly served ideology born in laboratories of Red Skull and mind of Arnim Zola. And Fury, for all his vigilance, for all his instinct sharpened by intelligence wars, only began recognizing threat when it was nearly too late. The fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. began quietly, not with explosion but with whisper, anomaly, inconsistency buried within digital archives. It began with Project Insight. Project Insight was, on surface, culmination of everything Fury believed world needed after Battle of New York: 3 helicarriers, upgraded with global surveillance capabilities, targeting systems linked to satellites, predictive algorithms identifying threats before they acted. But when Fury inspected deeper layers of software, he saw patterns of Zola's mathematical fingerprints, code designed not merely to predict violence but to eliminate dissent. Insight's targeting list included political activists, journalists, scientists, people who posed ideological threat to Hydra, not danger to world. Fury confronted Alexander Pierce, friend and mentor whose influence shaped modern S.H.I.E.L.D. Pierce dismissed concerns with rhetoric about security, sacrifice, necessity. Fury sensed evasiveness he had never seen in Pierce before. Doubt darkened trust. Fury ordered delays. Pierce resisted. Tension escalated behind closed doors. Then came physical attack. Fury, driving through Washington, D.C., preparing to investigate encrypted data block containing evidence of Insight corruption, was ambushed by police vehicles and tactical strike teams disguised as law enforcement. Fury initially believed attack came from political extremists or foreign operatives, but as bullets shattered windows and battering rams smashed into armored SUV, Fury realized enemy knew his movements, his routes, his escape protocols. Enemy predicted his decisions. He saw emblem on wrist of attacker Hydra skull. Fear transformed into certainty. Hydra had risen inside S.H.I.E.L.D. with precision that only decades-long infiltration could achieve. Fury activated emergency defensive systems, returning fire, evading capture through underground drilling function beneath vehicle. He escaped with injuries, adrenaline cutting through pain as he raced to apartment of one man he believed incorruptible, Steve Rogers. Fury collapsed inside Rogers' apartment, breath shallow, blood loss severe, voice strained. He whispered warning, S.H.I.E.L.D. is compromised. Then Winter Soldier, assassin with metal arm and ghost-like efficiency, shot him through wall. Fury fell, life draining from him. In hospital room, surrounded by doctors unaware of truth, Fury initiated chemical protocol slowing heartbeat to near death. He died, or so world believed. Death was shield, weapon, disguise. Fury used silence to move between cracks of collapsing organization. Meanwhile, Rogers, Romanoff, and Sam Wilson uncovered truth. Hydra infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. since its founding, rewriting history, manipulating global events. Arnim Zola, preserved digitally inside ancient computers, confessed Hydra grew within S.H.I.E.L.D. by exploiting fear. Hydra believed humanity could not be trusted with freedom. Insight was Hydra's final solution: preemptive extermination of millions to engineer obedient world. Rogers rejected philosophy instantly. Fury had seen ideology's shadow for years but lacked clarity. Rogers provided moral compass. Fury needed to confront Hydra fully. Hidden in safe house under care of Maria Hill, Fury watched world react to his death, council issuing statements, media mourning legend, enemies celebrating. Fury used anonymity to mobilize few loyal allies. He instructed Hill to retrieve data, coordinate with Rogers' team, prepare final stand against Pierce. Fury decided to reveal himself when time demanded maximum impact. During height of crisis, Rogers and Romanoff infiltrated Triskelion, battling Hydra operatives, while Barnes, Winter Soldier, targeted Rogers with lethal precision. Fury arrived in private elevator with Hill and Special Strike Team. Pierce, surrounded by chaos, tried holding onto Hydra's vision. Fury confronted him directly. He removed eye patch, revealing scar left by Goose years earlier. Symbol of trust lost. Pierce taunted Fury about world needing order without freedom. Fury responded coldly. We take the world as it is, not as we'd like it to be. Confrontation escalated. Pierce threatened global annihilation. Fury pressed biometric override, forcing Pierce to unlock encrypted system himself. Hill completed bypass. Rogers replaced Hydra's algorithms with new coordinates targeting insight carriers against each other. Helicarriers rose into sky, weapons locking onto one another as Rogers clung to collapsing structure. Machines fired, helicarriers destroyed. Hydra's plan died in storm of metal and flame. Pierce defeated. Murdered by Romanoff. Zola, digital ghost of Hydra, erased when bunker destroyed. But fallout was catastrophic. S.H.I.E.L.D. dissolved. Agents scattered. Files leaked. Hydra cells across world exposed chaos. Fury stood among ruins of Triskelion, building collapsing like symbolic tombstone. He realized S.H.I.E.L.D. had become enemy it was built to fight. He accepted responsibility quietly. Hydra's infiltration meant failure of institution he dedicated life to. Fury concluded organization must die so world could rebuild without poison. Later, Fury met Rogers, Romanoff, and Wilson in safe house. Rogers asked what comes next. Fury answered truthfully he would disappear. Public believed him dead. He would maintain lie. Fury burned identities, erased existence, shed title of director. He handed sunglasses, jacket, and new path to Hill. Fury walked into world as ghost, but death was not end. Fury re-emerged only during global level threats. He helped Avengers during Ultron crisis, arriving on helicarrier resurrected secretly. He guided them through Sokovia evacuation, providing logistics. But Fury refused reclaiming S.H.I.E.L.D. mantle. Organization needed to be rebuilt by others, not him. Coulson, alive though unknown publicly, became leader of underground S.H.I.E.L.D. variant. Fury worked from shadows, focusing on cosmic threats. During Thanos' arrival, Fury operated off-grid with Maria Hill, monitoring alien signals. On day decimation struck, Fury witnessed Hill disintegrate before him. Sky darkened, cars crashed, panic erupted. Fury's hands trembled as universe erased half of life. Fury pulled pager Carol's device from coat. He sent emergency signals seconds before dissolving into dust. 5 years later, Fury returned after Hulk reversed snap. He attended Tony Stark's funeral, standing silently away from crowd, mourning hero he failed to protect emotionally, but trusted in battle. Fury shifted role after Endgame, leaving Avengers' internal affairs to others. He turned eyes skyward, helping build S.A.B.E.R in orbit, Earth's first true diplomatic cosmic bridge. He prepared world for new age, not controlled by S.H.I.E.L.D, but guided by lessons of Hydra's infiltration. When Skrull tensions erupted during Secret Invasion, Fury returned to Earth burdened by age, trauma, and regret. He confronted consequences of alliances gone wrong, distrust among Skrulls he once sheltered, political conspiracies, deaths of friends. Fury realized world had grown beyond S.H.I.E.L.D, beyond his control. Yet, even weakened, even haunted by failures and betrayals, he proved indispensable, exposing Skrull plot, preventing global takeover, restoring fragile peace. Fury's scars, both literal and psychological, became testament to legacy shaped by survival. Fury's death was temporary. His rebirth was transformation. He became not director but sentinel, not commander of organization but guardian of Earth's place in cosmos. S.H.I.E.L.D fell because it grew, blind. Fury evolved because he learned to see again. Nick Fury lived many lives, one before Carol Danvers, one before Avengers, one before Hydra's betrayal. But after fall of S.H.I.E.L.D, Fury lived final truth. World did not need shield of lies. It needed eyes open to stars, ready for storms beyond imagination. And Fury became exactly that, an eye scarred but unblinking, watching universe so humanity could survive what came next. Chapter 10: Fury in the Shadows, Sokovia, Ultron, and the War. He couldn't fight publicly. In the years following the collapse of S.H.I.E.L.D, when world governments scrambled to reconstruct intelligence networks and civilians tried to make sense of revelations about Hydra's infiltration, Nick Fury drifted into space between necessity and obscurity, existing as Ghost, whose name still echoed in classified circles, but whose authority had been burned away along with Triskelion. He watched global events unfold not through screens in high-tech command centers, but through fragmented intel delivered by loyal remnants he had once commanded, men and women who still believed in mission, even without badge. Fury existed in liminal state, no longer director, not yet retired, simply strategist navigating ruins of system he helped build. And as world focused on political recovery, Fury sensed danger growing in shadows of grief and fear left behind by Battle of New York. Among all Avengers, Tony Stark suffered transformation most profound. Fury recognized shift immediately. Stark experienced trauma layered with guilt, burdened by knowledge universe held forces beyond human comprehension. He had flown through portal, faced armada of alien warships, glimpsed vast cosmic darkness where Chitauri ships swarmed under command of figure Stark did not yet know by name, Thanos. That vision became seed of paranoia. Stark began building suits obsessively, designing drones, algorithms, systems designed to protect world from next threat. Fury observed from distance, understanding Stark's desperation, but fearing his attempt to create global shield without input of team or supervision of moral compass like Rogers. Fury knew Stark's brilliance was double-edged sword, capable of saving world, capable of damning it. Without Avengers unified, Stark would act alone. Fury feared consequences. When Stark and Bruce Banner quietly initiated work on Ultron, Advanced AI, built from fragments of S.A.B.E.R's energy patterns and Stark's ambition to create a suit of armor around world. Fury was unaware. He operated from shadows, lacking access to facilities he once oversaw. His absence created space where Stark's fear blossomed without oversight. Ultron's birth was not accident but inevitable manifestation of Stark's unresolved trauma, amplified by cosmic knowledge embedded in Mind Stone energy. When Ultron emerged, rejecting its purpose and turning against humanity, Fury realized nightmare unfolding was not alien invasion, but human-made disaster, origin inside Avengers themselves. Hydra had fallen, but vacuum left behind had been filled by threats born from desperation to prevent next war. Fury watched Ultron rise with horror and empathy, understanding Monster was product of fractured team. He understood Stark's intentions but recognized failure. Stark acted without counsel. Rogers, Romanoff, Barton, and Thor were blindsided. Banner tormented. Fury understood Avengers could self-destruct. Ultron attacked Avengers in their own base, escaping with S.A.B.E.R. Fury, hidden from world after his supposed death, monitored situation carefully. When Ultron assaulted Wakanda's vibranium supply, Fury sensed escalation. When casualties mounted globally, he knew Avengers needed guide, not director, not commander, but stabilizing force. Fury sought out Maria Hill, who infiltrated Stark's corporate structure as consultant, giving Fury window into team dynamics. Through her he learned of Banner's psychological collapse, Wanda Maximoff's psychic manipulation, pushing team into volatile spiral, Thor's visions of Infinity Stones, Rogers' frustration with Stark. Fury realized Avengers were not just losing war, they were losing each other. After catastrophic defeat in Johannesburg and violent clash at Clow's shipyard, Avengers retreated to Barton's safe house, a rural sanctuary. Fury himself did not know existed until Barton's trust granted them refuge. Team fractured emotionally, Stark isolated, Rogers disillusioned, Banner terrified, Romanoff shaken, Thor absent, chasing visions. Fury knew they needed anchor, so Fury walked into farmhouse like apparition, stepping from Rogers' memory of war, surprising Avengers with presence they believed gone. He greeted team calmly, offering warmth Barton provided silently. Fury did not chastise them. He did not berate mistakes. Instead, he acknowledged truth. "You're not the director anymore," Stark said. Fury replied, "I'm just here to help." Fury reminded them they were team not by protocol, but purpose. He reminded them world depended on unity, not perfection. He reframed mission. Ultron wanted extinction. Avengers wanted life. Fury restored clarity. He revealed resurrection of old helicarrier, one built secretly before S.H.I.E.L.D's fall, hidden from Hydra due to compartmentalization. With help of Coulson's underground S.H.I.E.L.D cell, Fury prepared ship in time to aid Sokovia evacuation. Fury coordinated civilian rescue, providing aerial support, safe corridors, and global communication blackout preventing unnecessary international escalation. Fury saved thousands silently, without recognition, without institution backing him. He operated like shadow guardian of world he once defended publicly. Rogers, watching rescue unfold, realized Fury's return was not about reclaiming command, it was about amplifying humanity's survival. Fury knew Avengers were only ones capable of confronting Ultron physically. His role was ensuring civilians lived. As battle escalated in Sokovia, Fury watched Avengers from helicarrier window, giants locked in war with being representing mankind's hubris. He felt guilt for absence during Ultron's creation, but pride, witnessing Avengers reclaim unity. When Wanda and Pietro Maximoff fought beside team, Fury recognized potential seeds of new generation. When Barton saved Child at cost of Pietro's life, Fury saw heartbreak, pushing team closer. When Vision, android born from combination of Scepter's energy, vibranium, and Jarvis' moral core, lifted Thor's hammer, proving worthiness, Fury understood Avengers had transcended boundaries of human potential. Fury saw Initiative evolve beyond original concept. Ultron's defeat hinged on unity Fury fought hardest to preserve. After Ultron's annihilation, Fury retreated into shadows again. He understood the world was preparing reckoning. Sokovia's destruction turned global spotlight on Avengers. Governments demanded accountability. Families mourned losses. Fury anticipated political backlash long before Rogers or Stark realized implications. Fury knew world feared power without restraint. He had spent decades managing that fear. But with S.H.I.E.L.D gone, no buffer existed. Avengers stood exposed. Fury watched them build new headquarters under Stark's funding, vision of future, where heroes trained next generation. Fury assisted quietly, offering resources, advice, warnings. But he sensed ideological divide deepening, Stark's belief in oversight versus Rogers' belief in freedom. Fury knew conflict imminent. He did not intervene. He allowed them to navigate path themselves. He understood controlling Avengers again would break them irrevocably. During Civil War, Fury remained absent publicly. But absence was strategy. If Fury appeared, sides would solidify. Rogers would gravitate to him. Stark would resent him. Both outcomes weakening world's defense. Fury watched Accords unfold silently, heart heavy. He saw tragedy in Lagos. He saw Stark's guilt swallow him. He saw Rogers prioritize friendship with Barnes. War began. Fury offered subtle support to Rogers' underground team, ensuring they survived. But he refused choosing sides openly. When Thanos' invasion finally arrived, Fury was not with Avengers. He was in New York with Hill, monitoring cosmic signals. When Q-ships landed and heroes scattered, Fury sensed nightmare surpassing Ultron or Loki. Decimation struck. Fury watched Hill turn to dust. Fury felt weight of universe collapsing. He sent pager signal to Carol Danvers, last hope he knew could answer threat. Avengers could not face alone. Fury disintegrated, believing world needed one more miracle. When Hulk reversed Snap and Fury returned, he attended Stark's funeral silently. Stark died saving universe from Thanos' martyr, not because he wanted glory, but because his trauma had matured into selfless courage. Fury's position at funeral reflected truth. He did not lead Avengers anymore. He watched new era emerge, strange, hopeful, uncertain. From this point onward, Fury turned focus to Cosmos. He knew Earth must prepare not only for threats like Thanos, but political realities of universe. He co-founded S.A.B.E.R station with Talos and Skrull allies, creating interstellar diplomacy hub protecting Earth. Fury recognized Earth's role, shifted from isolated planet to participant in galactic ecosystem. But while Fury's work in space was monumental, his absence from Earth allowed new threats, like Skrull extremists, to rise under surface. Fury's shadow war continued in Secret Invasion, when he returned to Earth older, weary, humbled by years of cosmic burden. Fury confronted Skrull insurgency, betrayal, political manipulation, death of Maria Hill, collapse of trust he once built. He fought without Avengers, without institutional power. He fought with human limitations intact. That battle broke pieces of him, but Fury survived. The Ultron crisis marked a turning point in Fury's legacy. It was war he could not fight physically, could not command institutionally, could not prevent diplomatically. It was war revealing humanity's greatest threat might not be gods or aliens, but fear inside men who wield power. Fury learned painful lesson. Even heroes needed guidance, boundaries, reflection. But he also learned foundation he built, Avengers, was stronger than mistakes surrounding it. Fury remained guardian of world not because he commanded armies or led organizations. He remained guardian because he saw storms before they formed, understood people before they understood themselves, and carried resolve forged over lifetime of sacrifice. Ultron was Fury born from genius without patience, but Fury, scarred, patient, watchful, ensured that even in collapse, humanity found way to rise again. Chapter 11: Fury and the Blip. 5 years of silence and cosmic preparation. When Nick Fury disintegrated on a street corner in New York, dust rising from his arms like fading smoke, panic tightening his throat even as he forced himself to activate Carol Danvers' pager, he did not feel fear in final seconds. He felt confirmation. The nightmare he had sensed for years, the cosmic storm he always feared would one day arrive without warning, had finally revealed itself. And Fury, who had prepared for alien invasions, Hydra coups, rogue AIs, and political collapses, now faced unimaginable truth. Half of all life in universe vanished in instant, and humanity was no longer merely threatened, it was broken. But when Hulk reversed the snap 5 years later, restoring Fury and billions of others, only minutes seemed to have passed for him. Yet he awoke into a world transformed by grief, bureaucracy, and instability. For those alive, 5 years meant funerals, fractured families, new governments, broken alliances, wars for resources, and millions of unhealed wounds. Fury returned not to world he left but to one struggling to stand on legs weakened by loss. And for first time in decades, Fury, the unshakable sentinel of Earth's security, felt the weight of cosmic insignificance, realizing humanity had stepped into era where gods, witches, aliens, and tyrants shaped destiny more than any intelligence agency ever could. Blip changed mankind, but it changed Fury more profoundly than anyone understood. In immediate aftermath of his restoration, Fury did not run towards chaos. He did not rush to assemble Avengers or reclaim leadership he once held. Instead, he observed silently from distance, assessing new world, feeling its fractures, studying its psychological landscape. Fury understood something most people didn't. Universe had shifted center of gravity. The snap had shaken civilizations across galaxies, destabilizing empires, erasing leaders, empowering criminal syndicates, creating desperation among species once peaceful. Fury knew Earth was no longer isolated planet, recovering from tragedy. It was one of countless worlds thrown into turmoil. He recognized necessity of new kind of defense, not shield, not army, but diplomacy. He had seen what Avengers could accomplish physically, but Blip taught him what Avengers could not accomplish politically. Universe needed bridge, not battleground. And Fury decided to build that bridge in silence. While governments tried restoring infrastructure, struggling with overcrowded shelters, returning population, economic collapse, Fury moved with Talos, Skrull ally he trusted more than most humans. Fury understood Skrulls were species displaced, traumatized, carrying wounds spanning decades of persecution. They were survivors of Kree-Skrull war, refugees searching for home. Fury saw in them reflection of Earth during Blip, lost, scattered, searching for meaning. Fury forged alliance with Talos, leveraging Skrull's ability to infiltrate, gather intel, blend where no human could. But Fury did not exploit them, he coordinated with them. He built respectful partnership grounded in shared suffering. Blip strengthened bond between Fury and Skrulls, giving them unified purpose, stabilizing cosmic community before another power vacuum ignited war. In years following Endgame, Fury oversaw creation of S.A.B.E.R, Human-Skrull Joint Program operating from massive orbital station, designed to monitor threats approaching Earth long before they became invasions. While Avengers rebuilt on ground, Fury built new line of defense in sky. S.A.B.E.R was not simple surveillance base. It was cosmic embassy, training hub, research facility, and political negotiation center. Fury recognized importance of interstellar diplomacy, negotiating alliances with species Earth once feared, establishing contact with planets shaken by Blip, identifying regions descending into chaos after Thanos erased half of leadership. Fury maneuvered through volatile cosmic politics with patience, sharpened over lifetime in intelligence. He used empathy he developed through decades of working with Carol, Talos, and other allies. He rebuilt trust where boundaries once existed, yet Fury's time aboard S.A.B.E.R reflected more than political strategy. It reflected emotional withdrawal. Fury did not feel comfortable on Earth anymore. He looked at a planet that lost half its children, half its parents, half its city's heartbeat, and saw a graveyard. Fury saw ghosts of those snapped in front of their families. He remembered Hill's expression dissolving into dust. He remembered failure because even though he didn't blame himself consciously, deep within he believed he should have anticipated Thanos. Fury always predicted worst, but he never predicted Titan who wielded 6 Infinity Stones. So Fury remained in space, not as exile, but as necessary distance from trauma tethered to Earth. On S.A.B.E.R, Fury found quiet clarity between stars. He studied cosmic patterns, watching for anomalies resembling energy signatures from stones. He consulted with off-world leaders shaken by Blip's aftermath. He watched interstellar gangs exploit chaos. He recognized signs of future war, and he prepared. During Fury's absence, Earth changed. New heroes rose, Strange mastering mystic arts, Captain Marvel patrolling galaxies, Spider-Man confronting aftermath of Stark's legacy, Wanda destabilizing reality after grief, nations grappling with power vacuums. Fury monitored them all, but he did not intervene directly. Earth needed to learn to stand without him. Avengers, fractured by losses, needed space to rebuild identity beyond him. Fury respected that, but his distance came with cost. As humans rebuilt, Skrull refugees, once protected under Fury's promise, grew restless. Many lived decades on Earth, integrating into society, believing Fury would eventually secure homeworld for them. But Blip delayed everything. Chaos spread across cosmos. Promise of homeland felt like empty hope. Some Skrulls lost faith, forming radical cells. Fury did not see unrest from orbit. He underestimated emotional fissures within Skrull community. He trusted too deeply in bond he built with Talos. Fury's grief made him blind to brewing rebellion. Still, during Blip's aftermath, Fury maintained communication with Carol Danvers, hero who first opened his eyes to cosmic scale of conflict. Carol became his counterpart across galaxies, solving crises beyond Earth's reach. Fury rarely asked for help, only for intel and occasional intervention. Their bond remained strong, forged through war in 1995, strengthened through decades of mutual trust. Fury's time in space also revealed secret burden. He was aging, his body, scarred by years of physical combat, stress, and injury, slowed. Fury hid this truth. Even in environment mimicking controlled gravity, he felt weight of years pulling at him. Fury hated weakness, but he adapted, relying more on strategy and diplomacy rather than confrontation. Yet, despite everything, Fury planned for Earth's return to cosmic stage. He feared threats larger than Avengers. He feared a Celestial's awakening. He feared remnants of Thanos' army reorganizing. He feared extremist factions rising from post-Blip desperation. But he also believed humanity could survive with right preparation. 5 years of silence altered Fury's identity. He was not director anymore, not commander, not even Avengers strategist. He became guardian of frontier, bridge between Earth and stars. And while world healed and governments restructured, Fury processed trauma in solitude. He questioned past choices, Avengers Initiative, S.H.I.E.L.D's secrecy, Hydra oversight, relationship with Carol, trust in Skrulls. He replayed failures silently, but he did not drown. Fury turned pain into learning. He reinvented himself. His greatest fear during Blip years was not invasion, it was stagnation. He believed in evolution. Humanity evolved through crisis. Blip transformed civilization forever. Fury saw potential in new generation. Heroes born into worlds shaped by cosmic conflict. Young Avengers, enhanced individuals, new scientific minds influenced by Stark's legacy. Fury studied them quietly, preparing to recruit when needed, but peace was fragile. Fury knew cosmic consequences of Thanos' actions rippled far beyond universe. He saw shifts in gravitational anomalies, cosmic storms, energy surges from destroyed stones. Universe was destabilizing in ways no one predicted. Fury watched instability spread like cracks through mirror. And when he finally returned to Earth after long absence, when he descended from S.A.B.E.R to investigate Skrull insurrection during Secret Invasion, he carried weight of years heavier than any weapon. Fury looked older, slower, haunted, weary. People questioned if he was still same man who stared down gods and aliens. Fury questioned himself too, but even weakened. Fury confronted threat no one else could, because Secret Invasion was not war of fists, but war of identity. Skrull extremists disguised as world leaders, replacing officials, manipulating global policy. Fury fought with intelligence, not muscle. He made mistakes, he suffered losses, including death of Maria Hill. Loyal ally and symbolic daughter figure, Fury endured betrayal of Gravik, Skrull he once mentored. Fury fought not for world, but for promises he had broken. And yet, despite mistakes, Fury resolved crisis, negotiating fragile peace with help of Gaia and Talos' legacy. Fury accepted responsibility. He acknowledged failures, and he continued forward, not because he believed redemption complete, but because world needed him. 5 years of Blip were not void in Fury's story, they were metamorphosis. Blip redefined him. It stripped him. It humbled him. It expanded perspective. It took from him illusions of invincibility and gave him truth even Fury could break. But it also taught him something greater. When world collapses, survival means adaptation, not strength. Fury adapted more than any hero. He reshaped identity, mission, and role within ecosystem of cosmic politics. Nick Fury entered Blip as mastermind of Avengers. He emerged as Chapter 12, Fury's Return. New alliances, new threats, no more S.H.I.E.L.D. When Nick Fury finally returned to Earth, not as director, not as strategist of Avengers, not as architect of S.H.I.E.L.D's clandestine empire, but simply as a man who had spent years drifting between stars trying to forget the shape of his own failures. He did so quietly, stepping down from S.A.B.E.R with weight in his shoulders that even the low gravity of orbital platforms could not mask. His boots touched Earth like someone revisiting graveyard of past self. There were no fireworks, no triumphant fanfare, no agents saluting him. The world he left after the Blip no longer existed, and the world he returned to did not recognize him. The age of S.H.I.E.L.D. had ended. The age of Avengers as unified force had fractured, and Fury, once center of Earth's defense strategy, was now a relic stepping into era that no longer revolved around him. He felt it the moment he walked through airport terminal wearing beanie and glasses. Symbolic armor meant not to hide identity, but to blend into society that had moved on without him. Fury returned, not because Earth asked for him, but because Earth was unraveling again, and because he knew some fights could not be won from orbit. The world after Endgame was not victory-filled paradise. It was fragmented ecosystem of distrust, political instability, frightening technological acceleration, and fragile unity held together by stories of heroes now gone or retired. Fury watched world news from small safe house, absorbing reports of rising extremist movements, border conflicts intensified by sudden return of billions after the blip, governments overwhelmed by economic collapse, and populations distrustful of institutions that failed them. Avengers were not global guardians anymore. Their absence left vacuum, and vacuums always attract chaos. While Fury traveled Earth in secret, he observed new superpowered individuals emerging without oversight, some noble, some reckless, some misguided. Without S.H.I.E.L.D, no one catalogued them. Without Avengers, no one guided them. Without global trust, no one united them. Fury had spent life preparing for enemies coming from sky, but now threats came from every direction: political, ideological, supernatural, interstellar. And Fury, older and slower, felt world accelerating without him. Talos found him first, the Skrull general whose loyalty to Fury spanned decades and who considered Fury friend, not commander, arrived in person, weary from burden of leading refugees scattered across Earth. Skrulls had lived 25 years under promise Fury made in 1995 that he would help them find home, but no home materialized. As years passed, desperation grew. Talos delivered truth with sorrow. Skrull factions had begun radicalizing. Some infiltrated governments not for protection, but power. Others blamed Fury for broken promise. Talos warned Earth was entering invisible war, a conflict not of alien invasion, but identity. Fury listened silently, guilt pricking at him. He had promised safety but delivered purgatory. He had meant well, but meaning did not stop suffering. Fury felt weight of failure press hard. He had fled to space to escape ghosts, but ghosts followed. Fury's first step was visiting Rhodey, James Rhodes, one of few remaining high-ranking global figures who respected him. Rhodes greeted Fury with mix of concern and frustration, seeing man once unshakable now worn, slower, roughened by years of cosmic isolation. Rhodes warned Fury, international community no longer trusted him. Governments believed Fury abandoned Earth. They believed S.H.I.E.L.D's collapse proved institutions would always fail when built on secrecy. Fury's word no longer moved rooms the way it once did. Fury accepted truth without protest. "Then I'll work in shadows," he said. Rhodes sighed. "That's the problem, Nick. Everyone's afraid of shadows now." Fury understood. Blip taught humanity that unseen forces kill without warning. But even as world lost trust in Fury, Fury did not lose trust in himself. He had always been man who operated best when underestimated. With no Avengers to rely on, no S.H.I.E.L.D backbone, and no institutional power, Fury embraced necessity of rebuilding influence not through rank but through relationships. He reconnected with former allies, Hill, Chavez, old intelligence contacts, and Talos' Skrull network, forming new patchwork alliance to navigate crisis. Fury believed Earth needed flexible, decentralized defense, not monolithic organizations vulnerable to infiltration. His mindset shifted from leadership to mentorship, from command to guidance. Yet Earthbound threats were only beginning. Fury knew cosmic vacuum left behind by Thanos' death. Power, vacuum of unimaginable scale, had destabilized entire universe. Kree Empire weakened, Skrull refugees scattered, Nova Corps stretched thin, dark corners of galaxy filled by new tyrants and warlords. Fury recognized Earth's place shifting from isolated backwater to contested territory among interstellar factions desperate for resources or refuge. Earth had little political standing. It had heroes, but heroes were scattered. Institutions like S.A.B.E.R were embryonic. Fury sensed storm approaching horizon, not from single enemy, but from tapestry of conflicts woven across galaxy. While preparing for these challenges, Fury confronted personal transformation. Age hit him harder now. His eye, scarred by Goose decades earlier, remained symbolic wound, but now represented deeper truth. Fury could no longer operate physically as field agent. His reflexes slowed, his resilience thinned. Nights grew heavier with memories of losses: Coulson, Hill, Natasha, Maria Rambo, Talos. Fury was man of scars, not myth, and yet, paradoxically, understanding his limits made him sharper. He became strategist, diplomat, negotiator. He developed patience where once he relied on instinct. He learned vulnerability was not weakness but necessity in world reshaped by trauma. But weakness created openings. When Fury descended from S.A.B.E.R to begin investigation into Skrull insurgency, events leading to secret invasion, he misjudged threat. Gravik, radicalized Skrull child he once inspired, twisted Fury's legacy into weapon. Fury faced rebellion, fueled by his broken promise. Skrull extremists replaced world leaders, infiltrated governments, assassinated officials. Fury had failed to see anger brewing among those he vowed to save. He believed alliance with Talos was enough, but not all Skrulls viewed him as protector. Many viewed him as colonizer, Earth's benefactor who failed to deliver home while expecting loyalty. Maria Hill's death shattered Fury's fragile composure. Hill died protecting him, loyal friend, struck down by enemy wearing face of Fury himself. Fury, shaken, realized that world he returned to required new kind of vigilance, not control. He could not prevent every betrayal, he could not foresee every extremist, but he could adapt faster than he ever did. Hill's death hardened him against complacency. Throughout Crisis, Fury grappled with ghosts of identity. Gravik taunted him with past, accusing Fury of using Skrulls as tools. Fury did not deny mistakes, he admitted guilt. He confronted Gravik not as soldier, but as man willing to take responsibility for devastation he played part in. Fury negotiated fragile peace with Skrull survivor Gaia. Acknowledging path forward must be led not by promises but equal partnership. After conflict, Fury returned to S.A.B.E.R. With renewed clarity. He recognized Earth could not rely on Avengers, who themselves were changing, dispersing, transforming into new generation. He recognized governments too fractured to unify against cosmic threats. He recognized institutions like S.H.I.E.L.D could never return in original form. They were relics of pre-Blip world. Fury embraced new identity, architect of Earth's cosmic diplomacy. Not spy, not director, not savior, bridge. His new alliances reflected evolution. Carol Danvers remained beacon in galaxy. Skrulls served as ambassadors and intelligence partners. Monica Rambeau joined ranks of cosmic responders. Talos' legacy shaped peacekeeping efforts. Fury coordinated missions addressing intergalactic tensions, working to prevent wars among species weakened by Blip. He advocated for Earth to become equal participant in cosmic community, not through force but diplomacy. But even as Fury embraced new mission, he never forgot reality. He once told Steve Rogers, S.H.I.E.L.D takes world as it is, not as we'd like it to be. Fury applied philosophy to cosmos. Universe was dangerous place, filled with empires rising from ruins, gods returning to life, dimensional tiers forming from misuse of magic, mutants awakening, timelines branching after Loki's interference with sacred timeline. Fury recognized chaos expanding, and he prepared humanity not by hiding danger, but by exposing them to truth gradually, responsibly. Nick Fury's return to Earth marked beginning of new chapter, not heroic resurrection, not triumphant leadership, but profound transformation. He was not commander of world's greatest heroes anymore. He was world's most important diplomat. He was caretaker of cosmic relationships. He was aging soldier who understood value of connection over control. He was man whose scars taught him humility, whose failures taught him empathy, whose losses taught him wisdom. And though world changed, Fury's resolve remained unbroken. Earth was still his post. Earth was still worth protecting. Earth still needed him, even if it no longer realized it. His new era was not about rebuilding S.H.I.E.L.D, but building something better, an interconnected defense bound not by secrecy, but by collaboration. And his next challenge would strike deeper than cosmos. Old alliances tested, old promises weighed, and history returning in form of species he once sheltered. Chapter 13: Talos and the Hidden War. Fury's Skrull Alliance. Long before the Skrull insurgency that would shake Earth's political core, long before Gravik's rebellion, or Gaia's transformation, or the secret war that unfolded beneath the world's nose, Nick Fury had forged bond with Talos, not through diplomacy or strategic necessity, but through moment of mutual survival in 1995, when young Fury, still agent, not yet director, stood face to face with alien refugee disguised as human, and realized the universe was infinitely more complicated than political maps or military briefings allowed. In that moment, Fury looked beyond green skin and shapeshifting abilities and saw father, husband, soldier without nation, exile fleeing war he did not start. Talos, in turn, saw human unlike others, man capable of trust, empathy, humor, and restraint even when staring at the unknown. That fleeting alliance during Kree-Skrull conflict became thread-weaving decades of cooperation, deception, sacrifice, and betrayal that shaped Earth's future more deeply than most would ever realize. For Fury, Talos became not merely ally but mirror, reflecting vulnerability he rarely acknowledged, challenging his biases, expanding perspective beyond planetary boundaries. Their friendship was foundation upon which Fury built interstellar diplomacy, but also foundation that would later fracture under weight of promises unkept, traumas unhealed, and wars unseen. After Carol Danvers left Earth in 1995, Fury remained primary liaison to Skrull survivors she entrusted him with. Talos became intermediary between Skrulls and human organizations. Fury ensured refugees received shelter, access to disguised identities, and covert integration into Earth society. Many Skrulls lived normal lives, teachers, farmers, engineers, hidden behind human faces for safety. Fury believed Earth could be temporary refuge, but Skrulls believed temporary would become permanent path to new homeworld. Fury promised them one, and though his intentions were sincere, universe had different plans. Through early 2000s and 2010s, while Fury battled Hydra, founded Avengers, and navigated global crises, Talos provided intelligence no human network could replicate. Skrulls infiltrated hostile governments, intercepted alien communications, monitored cosmic anomalies, and shielded Fury from threats too large or subtle for human agencies. They did not seek payment, they sought purpose. Fury's alliance with Talos became bedrock of cosmic intelligence long before S.A.B.E.R existed. But as years passed without progress toward New Skrull homeworld, disappointment grew. Talos, ever patient, reassured his people that Fury would deliver when time was right. He believed in Fury more than Fury believed in himself. But not all Skrulls shared faith. Some, like young Gravik, orphaned by Kree bombardment and hardened by displacement, viewed alliance with Fury as compromise, not salvation. They wanted home, not hiding. They wanted power, not patience. They wanted identity, not masks. Still, for decades, Fury and Talos stood united against threats. During Hydra infiltration of S.H.I.E.L.D, Talos aided Fury behind scenes, providing critical intel when Fury was targeted during Washington, D.C. ambush. After Fury faked death, Skrulls helped him disappear. After Ultron's rise, Talos coordinated off-world communication networks. During Blip and post-Blip chaos, Talos kept fragile peace among refugee colonies. Their alliance endured storms universe hurled at them. When Fury built S.A.B.E.R, he placed Talos at center, not as subordinate but partner. Together they monitored galactic politics, tracked Kree instability, responded to colony crises. Fury admired Talos' resilience. Talos admired Fury's relentless hope despite trauma. But beneath cooperation lay unspoken tension. Skrull still had no homeworld. Fury's promise aged into myth, whispered among young Skrulls who had grown up on Earth, some embracing human society, others despising it. Fury did not see resentment forming. Talos did, but believed he could contain it. Then Fury vanished from Earth again. After Endgame, Fury felt pulled away physically and emotionally, leaving Talos temporarily in his place, literally. Talos impersonated Fury on Earth, running diplomacy and handling human affairs, while real Fury remained on S.A.B.E.R, recovering from psychological wounds. Talos believed he was doing friend a favor. Fury believed he was delegating to someone he trusted, but consequences were far-reaching. Skrulls saw their leader serving humans, not them. They saw Fury abandoning them but still expecting loyalty. Fury's absence fractured morale. Gravik, once loyal child soldier under Talos, lost faith. With brilliant mind shaped by war and rage, Gravik gathered disillusioned Skrulls, framing Fury and humans as unreliable caretakers. He exploited promise Fury failed to keep. He pointed to decades of hiding, decades of living as shadows, decades watching humans treat them as delicate secrets, not people. Gravik built extremist networks, secret, efficient, deadly, and Fury on S.A.B.E.R sensed none of it. Talos tried containing rebellion quietly, believing he could avoid war, but he underestimated depth of pain. Gravik infiltrated world governments, replacing officials with Skrulls capable of shifting global policy subtly. He built Super Skrull program, weaponizing DNA of enhanced beings retrieved through clandestine operations. He planned to ignite world war between Earth's superpowers, forcing Skrulls into dominant position. When Fury returned to Earth, Talos embraced him with relief. "We're in trouble," Talos admitted. Fury listened, realizing magnitude of failure, his failure. He had promised home for decades, but delivered nothing. His absence left vacuum filled by rage. Still, Fury did not run from responsibility. He walked into heart of crisis alongside Talos. Their alliance was strained by truth. Talos confronted Fury. "You left us." Fury replied, "I left myself." They clashed, two men whose friendship carried decades of unspoken wounds. Yet, despite conflict, their bond endured. Talos believed in humanity's potential because Fury believed in it. Fury believed Skrulls deserved dignity because Talos embodied it. But Gravik intended to break that bond forever. When Gravik attacked President Ritzen's convoy, nearly starting global war blaming Russians, Talos sacrificed himself protecting Ritzen. Fury watched Talos, friend of 30 years, gunned down by extremist Skrulls disguised as humans. Talos died believing humans deserved chance at peace. Fury mourned silently, rage consuming calm exterior. Loss hit deeper than Hill's death, deeper than Coulson's fake demise, deeper than betrayals of Hydra. Talos was partner, brother in arms, mirror of courage. Talos's death ignited something in Fury. He confronted Gravik not with weapons, but with truth, standing alone, unarmed, in reactor chamber where Gravik built Super Skrull machine. Fury admitted failures openly, admitted broken promise, admitted he used Skrulls not maliciously but blindly. Gravik screamed accusations, childhood stolen, identity erased, future denied. Fury listened without denial. He offered himself as sacrifice to end conflict. Gravik accepted, believing killing Fury would avenge decades of pain. But Fury was Gaia, empowered by Harvest, DNA from Avengers battles collected unknowingly during New York cleanup. Fury sent her not because he feared dying, but because he knew Gravik must face someone who shared his pain, not someone who caused it. After Gravik's defeat, Fury approached Skrulls with humility, not authority. He asked Gaia to lead displaced Skrulls. He promised negotiations with President, but Ritson, traumatized by infiltration, declared all shapeshifters enemies, igniting era of paranoia. Fury realized Earth was no longer safe for Skrulls. Only place offering protection was space. And so Fury invited Skrulls to join S.A.B.E.R, not as refugees, but diplomats. He returned to orbit with deeper clarity. Earth's conflicts would bleed into cosmic stage soon. He must build alliances strong enough to withstand future storms. Talos's legacy lived through Gaia, through Skrull communities he protected, through peace he died defending. Fury carried weight of Talos' death heavily, but it was also catalyst. Fury learned leadership was not mastery, but responsibility. Talos and Fury's alliance was hidden war, fought in secrets, promises, and tragedies. And though alliance fractured, it also evolved, teaching Fury final lesson. Trust must be earned constantly, not inherited. Chapter 14: Secret Invasion, Fury's biggest failure and his human frailty. When the first whispers of Skrull insurgency trickled into underground intelligence channels, reports of diplomats acting strangely, gaps in biometrics, inconsistencies in global policy decisions, Nick Fury, orbiting miles above Earth aboard S.A.B.E.R, believed he still had time. He believed crisis brewing below was manageable. He believed Talos had the situation contained. And, perhaps most dangerously, he believed the version of himself that once defeated Hydra, outmaneuvered Loki, survived Ultron, and assembled Avengers was still the man he was in the present. But, as he stepped off shuttle and set foot on Earth again, greeted not by respect but suspicion, not by reverence but barely concealed disappointment, Fury learned truth he had avoided confronting for years. Age had caught him, trauma had hollowed him, and world no longer bowed instinctively when he walked into room. Secret invasion was not war fought with lasers or cosmic weapons. It was war fought with doubts, memories, wounds, and identities. And for the first time in his life, Nick Fury was not sure he could win. Because this war was built not on alien hatred, but on broken promise he himself had made. The ground did not welcome him back. President Ritzen's security detail eyed him with subtle mistrust. Rhodes, now seasoned political advisor, met him with civility but sharp critique. Even Maria Hill, loyal to Fury beyond reason, carried tension in her voice when she greeted him. "You're not the same," Hill said later. It wasn't accusation, it was fact. Fury felt it himself. Steps slower, aim less precise, instincts fogged by years spent trying not to remember the moment he died in Ritson Plaza and dissolved while the world screamed. After the blip, Fury retreated to S.A.B.E.R, telling himself humanity needed him in space. But truth was darker. Fury had run. He ran from Hill's death by Loki's scepter. He ran from Coulson's memory. He ran from Natasha's sacrifice. He ran from Thanos' victory. He ran from the shattering realization that he, Nick Fury, planner of worlds, had no plan when universe truly fell apart. Returning to Earth forced him to face ghosts he had stored in orbit. Yet he came anyway, because Talos asked. Talos, whom Fury trusted more deeply than almost any human, met him with relief mixed with desperation. Skrull refugees under Talos' leadership were losing faith. Fury promised them home 30 years ago. They were still waiting. As generations passed, hope curdled into bitterness. Gravik, child orphaned by Kree bombardment, once sheltered under Fury's wing, transformed into leader of radical faction, determined to force Earth into becoming new Skrull homeworld, by violence if necessary. Gravik was brilliant, disciplined, and utterly convinced his path was evolution of Fury's original promise. Fury, hearing this, felt sting deeper than any wound, inflicted in battle. Gravik's rebellion was not alien threat, it was twisted reflection of Fury's own failure. Fury began investigation quietly, meeting MI6 operative Sonya Falsworth, woman as ruthless and sharp as he once was. Falsworth respected Fury, but not blindly. She treated him like aging predator returning to jungle he once dominated but now needed to relearn. Her cold pragmatism reminded Fury of Maria Hill's younger tone, of Romanov's early skepticism. Fury realized people he once trained were now beyond him. They had outgrown him. World marches forward even when its legends pause. Maria Hill accompanied him through early inquiries, tracking explosions in Moscow orchestrated by Gravik to ignite war between Russia and the United States. Fury and Hill fought side by side, retrieving intel, discovering that Skrulls had infiltrated global powers at highest levels. Yet, even as teamwork felt familiar, tension lingered. Hill saw fear in Fury's eyes, something she had never seen before. She saw hesitation. She saw vulnerability. Fury saw it too, though he refused to admit it. He had been off-world too long, and enemies noticed. When Gravik detonated bomb in Moscow Square, disguised as American extremist, Fury attempted to stop him but failed. In crowd of panic, Fury saw Gravik, shifting into Fury's own face, raise gun. Then shot echoed. Maria Hill fell. Fury caught her as blood spread across pavement. Her final look was mixture of confusion and acceptance. Acceptance that Fury had come back too late, that he was no longer sharp enough, that she trusted him until last second. Fury begged her to stay awake, but Hill died in his arms, killed by alien wearing Fury's face. Fury felt grief like bullet lodged in bone. He shut down emotionally, not through stoicism but numbness. Hill's death was not simply casualty, it was message. Gravik wanted Fury broken, and for a moment he succeeded. Fury retreated into solitude, confronting memory of every ally he lost. He stared in mirror, seeing older man who could no longer physically do what he once did, but Fury did not succumb. Pain sharpened him, anger grounded him, and love for Hill, for Talos, for world he swore to protect, resurrected parts of him that fell dead. War deepened. Fury discovered Skrulls were not merely infiltrating governments, they were replacing world leaders, storing originals unconscious in pods. Gravik infiltrated even higher, the White House. And worse, Fury discovered one of his few remaining friends, Colonel James Rhodes, was replaced by Skrull years earlier. Fury trusted Rhodes implicitly, but now faced enemy wearing his voice, his uniform, his authority over United States military. It was betrayal inside betrayal, a recursive nightmare. Throughout Crisis, Talos remained constant. He fought for humanity as much as his own people. When Fury confronted him after Hill's death, Talos did not lash out. He offered partnership. They tried rescuing Skrull prisoners held in New Skrullo's camp. They attempted negotiating peace, but Gravik turned public against Skrulls, executing traitors, punishing dissenters, escalating toward global annihilation. In ambush orchestrated by Gravik, Talos was shot. Fury attempted to protect him, firing at aggressors with fury he hadn't felt in years. But Talos, wounded, collapsed on asphalt. Fury dragged him, screaming for help. But Talos died defending the very world preparing to exterminate his people. Fury knelt beside fallen friend, anguish crushing chest. Talos' death broke him more deeply than any battlefield failure. Talos died believing in Fury's dream of coexistence. Fury grieved but acted. He confronted Gravik at the heart of reactor chamber powering Super Skrull machine, place where Gravik prepared absorbing powers of every enhanced being, recorded in Fury's archives. But Fury did not bring guns, did not bring Avengers, did not bring soldiers. He brought truth. He admitted failure, he admitted fear, he admitted broken promise that haunted him for 30 years. He stood before Gravik, willing to die to end war. Gravik unleashed rage, accusing Fury of using Skrulls, manipulating them, abandoning them. Fury did not deny. He accepted fault. Gravik demanded a harvest, DNA of heroes collected unknowingly from New York battlefield. Fury handed it over. Gravik activated machine, believing he killed Fury in blast, but it was Gaia, Talos' daughter, wearing Fury's face. Empowered by Harvest, Gaia became matched to Gravik's enhancements. Their battle tore through chamber, powers clashing, Seth's strength colliding with Carol's cosmic fire, Hulk's rage meeting Captain Marvel's energy, Ghost's phasing colliding with Frost's giant mass. Gaia killed Gravik, ending rebellion. Meanwhile, Fury confronted Skrull infiltration targeting President Ritson. Fury exposed Rhodes' imposter. Gaia revealed truth to President. Crisis ended, but peace did not begin. Ritson, terrified and enraged, declared war on all extraterrestrial shapeshifters. Fury realized humanity reacted through fear, not wisdom. Earth was not ready for Skrulls, not prepared for peace. And yet, Fury still believed peace possible. He returned to S.A.B.E.R, inviting surviving Skrulls to join cosmic diplomatic mission. Gaia remained on Earth to protect her people. Fury held Priscilla, Skrull wife who loved him for who he was, not for mask he wore. Their relationship, strained by years of secrets, found healing. Fury understood something profound. For entire life he sought control, but true strength came from vulnerability shared with people he trusted. Secret invasion was Fury's greatest failure because war was born from his broken promise. But it was also Fury's greatest revelation, because it forced him to confront human frailty beneath myth. Fury learned he was not omnipotent, not infallible, not unshakable. He aged, he feared, he erred, he lost, but he also learned to grow again. Fury walked away not as legend forged in shadows, but as man scarred by grief, strengthened by truth, and finally ready to stop hiding behind cosmic missions and face weight of responsibilities left unfinished. Secret invasion didn't break Fury. It stripped him down to who he truly was, and once stripped of myth, Fury found strength to rebuild legacy, grounded not in secrecy, but in honesty. Chapter 15. Legacy of Fury. The man who watched the universe change. Nick Fury's legacy cannot be measured in medals, monuments, or government files, because none of those ever captured the essence of the man who walked through history, as if history were battlefield mapped in lines only he could see. Instead, Fury's legacy is written in shadows behind heroic triumphs, in quiet decisions that altered trajectories of empires, in whispered truths that saved world long before explosions made news, in alliances forged across species, centuries, and ideologies. Fury never desired the spotlight. He desired survival for those who lived in its glow. And when the universe changed, when gods landed in deserts, when aliens invaded skies, when titans snapped half of existence away, Fury was one of few who adapted each time without losing sense of purpose. His life became bridge between old world governed by secrets and new world shaped by superheroes, cosmic politics, and multiversal tremors. He existed between eras as sentinel, strategist, warrior, diplomat, and sometimes victim of weight he carried. His legacy, like him, cannot be limited to single moment. It stretches across MCU timeline like constellation of decisions that defined humanity's place in universe, revealing man both feared and admired, broken and reborn, secretive and honest, fragile and unyielding. Fury's legacy began long before Avengers, before S.H.I.E.L.D, before encounter with Skrulls or Kree. It began with soldier who questioned purpose of war, man who believed protection required vigilance but also compassion. But what transformed Fury into architect of Earth's defense was not training, it was perspective. No hero in MCU saw a bigger picture earlier than Fury. When others saw isolated threats, Fury saw patterns. When politicians saw risks, Fury saw opportunities. When enemies saw chaos, Fury saw advantage. That vision became foundation of Avengers Initiative. Fury's choice to trust Carol Danvers, an extraterrestrial-level powerhouse disguised as human pilot, reshaped his worldview. He realized humans were not alone, realized Earth was stage of cosmic importance. That single revelation defined decades of planning. When Fury convinced Council that extraordinary individuals could unite into force capable of facing godlike enemies, he laid blueprint for Avengers. But legacy of Fury was never Avengers alone, it was philosophy behind them, that humanity, fractured and flawed, could still rise together in face of impossible. During first wave of battles against Loki, Chitauri, Hydra's resurgence, Ultron, Fury navigated crises not through brute force but through emotional intelligence. He nudged heroes when they doubted themselves, withheld information when it protected them, intervened when their internal conflicts threatened missions. Critics accused him of manipulation, but Fury's choices were rarely selfish. He saw fragility in people who carried power no human before them ever wielded. He protected them from themselves as much as he protected world from threats. His moral complexity, his willingness to lie, hide, deceive, was not flaw but a tool forged by decades spent in espionage where trust was luxury. Fury manipulated to save lives, not to gain power. And while some resented this, his impact remained undeniable. But legacy is never linear. Fury's greatest triumph, the Avengers Initiative, was both blessing and burden. It inspired new heroes, Spider-Man shaped by Stark's mentorship, beginning with Fury's decision to recruit him into larger world. Carol Danvers anchored to Earth through mission Fury entrusted her with. Monica Rambeau, influenced by years spent around Avengers and heroes who shaped her trajectory. S.A.B.E.R, built from blueprint Fury envisioned. Yet, Avengers also fractured under pressure of oversight and personal trauma. Sokovia Accords, civil war, ideological clashes, these exposed limits of Fury's influence. He no longer commanded this new generation of enhanced individuals. His role shifted from father to observer. He allowed them to discover identity independent from him. That humility defined second phase of legacy. Blip redefined everything. When Fury died in Duskcloud, his influence extended beyond existence. Avengers acted in his absence. Worlds fought because of him, for him, in memory of lessons he taught. When Fury returned 5 years later, world had changed too much for him to simply step back into command. Yet, his capacity to adapt, to shed layers of past and rebuild purpose, became testament to resilience. He created S.A.B.E.R, forging humanity's first line of cosmic diplomacy. He abandoned need for control and embraced partnership, particularly with Skrulls and Carol. Legacy grew not vertically through hierarchy, but horizontally through alliances. Then came Secret Invasion, chapter that revealed human core beneath legend. Fury's greatest failure was not Hydra, not Accords, not even Ultron. It was unkept promise to Skrulls. Fury saw his reflection in Gravik, young soldier shaped by trauma, abandoned by leaders, molded by war. Gravik embodied consequences of Fury's neglect, proof that even legends cause collateral damage. Fury confronting Gravik alone, without weapons, without Avengers, without arrogance, defined new phase of legacy. It was moment Fury set aside title of director, embraced role of man willing to die to correct mistakes. That humility became lesson no Avenger ever taught. It was lesson Fury learned through Hill's death, Talos' sacrifice, collapse of trust he spent decades building. Through trial and grief, Fury transformed, and transformation is heart of legacy. Fury did not remain timeless icon untouched by years. He aged, he weakened, he doubted, he healed, he evolved. In doing so, he taught humanity's greatest heroes that strength comes not from power but adaptability. Fury influenced Wanda by understanding trauma she carried long before Sokovia. He influenced Spider-Man by representing world of responsibility larger than teenage grief. He influenced Thor by reminding God that leadership is earned, not inherited. He influenced Captain Marvel by offering trust she never received from Kree. He influenced Captain America by giving him purpose in world he didn't recognize. He influenced Black Widow by offering redemption others denied her. He influenced Hawkeye by validating value of man without powers. He influenced Tony Stark by challenging him to rise beyond ego, to become hero world needed. And Fury influenced Universe by acting as Earth's diplomat when gods and aliens fought over dominion. His communication with Skrulls, Kree renegades, and Carol Danvers prevented wars Earth never knew were imminent. He inspired coexistence not by preaching unity, but by modeling it. Fury fought Kree not through armies but truth, fought Hydra not through brute force but exposure, fought Thanos not physically but with hope that heroes he assembled would finish what he could not, fought Skrull insurgency not with bullets but with apologies and honesty. His legacy is paradox. Man known for secrecy ultimately saved world through vulnerability. Even relationship with Priscilla, Skrull wife who loved him through decades of shapeshifting disguises, revealed complexity of Fury's emotional world. Their reconciliation, after years of distance, revealed depth of humanity, hidden behind steel exterior. She saw man behind myth. She loved him despite choosing duty over domestic life. Fury allowed himself to be loved, not as director or hero, but as flawed man. And that vulnerability radiated into choices he made after. In broad timeline of MCU, Fury's presence is constant force balancing chaos. Without him, Avengers never form. Without him, Carol never returns to Earth. Without him, Skrulls never find safe haven. Without him, World never develops cosmic defense. Without him, New York, Washington, Sokovia, and Universe suffer outcomes beyond imagination. His legacy also influences future. Young Avengers forming post-Endgame. S.A.B.E.R. cultivating cosmic alliances. Gaia becoming new protector. Monica ascending to new cosmic role. Carol safeguarding galaxies. Governments building new agencies. Fury's work is not past but foundation for next chapter of MCU. Yet, legacy of Fury is more intimate. Man who stared into hole in sky during a Battle of New York and realized universe demanded constant reinvention. Man who carried burden quietly. Man who bled for world that often feared him. Man who survived everything except certainty. In end, Fury's greatest legacy is lesson he embodied. The world does not need perfect heroes, it needs flawed people willing to stand when universe falls. Fury stood longer than anyone. He stood against Hydra infiltration. He stood after losing his eye. He stood after being hunted by government he served. He stood after S.H.I.E.L.D collapsed. He stood after Ultron. He stood after Civil War. He stood after dying in the snap. He stood after returning to a world that no longer recognized him. He stood after Talos' death. He stood after Hill's murder. He stood even when standing hurt more than falling. And he continues standing, not in spotlight, but in orbit between stars, watching, preparing, enduring. Nick Fury's legacy is not Avengers, not S.H.I.E.L.D, not S.A.B.E.R. Nick Fury's legacy is survival of Earth inside universe that wants to crush it. And as long as he breathes, Earth will never face darkness alone.